my friends in film fandom. A little bit of a late night thing. TSS, what's going on, my man? Steve Kalan, what's up? The Road, my man, what's up? Bit of a different thing tonight. It's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun. You guys want to see the new background? Bang! There it is. I think it's much more film oriented. I dig it. Hope you guys dig it too. I don't really want to design another one. I forgot to turn down my phone. Shows how unready I am for this podcast. What's up, my friends? How you guys doing? So, watch anything good on the Oscars today? I mean, wow. Okay, nobody expected that shit. Yeah, I know, Rose. I gotta try to figure out that level a little bit, but yeah, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? Yeah, so I mean, okay, this was my plan to go over some of this stuff today. I want to do a rundown of the Oscar winners. I want to talk about the NFL offseason and how potentially this may have been the craziest offseason that we've had in the NFL for a long, long time. And I wanted to have a little fun and go over this day in history. I figure we're going to start with the Oscars because, A, this is a movie channel after all, and I'm interested in who wins. Not that I care. I'm going to go see the movies I'm going to see, but I am interested in who wins. But obviously this other story has kind of overpowered everything else. We're going to go into that. But, you know, for right now, like I said, what's up, TSS, Steve Kalan, The Rose. A couple people starting to filter in after Drew's pre-recorded shit has popped off. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out for, like, the post show. The show that wouldn't usually be heard at this time of night on this channel. But usually we're over on Drew's channel. But Drew's on the road, doing his thing, throwing the cheese around. TSS, we saw the smack heard around the world. Oh, yeah. I'm actually, I'm trying to pull that clip up because, you know, wow. It's like, how do you even process that? What's up, Federico Garza? What's up, my brother? Yeah, I mean, first off, let me try to go, okay. I don't even know where to start with the Oscars right now because this whole slap thing kind of fucked everything up. But Jesus, I watched it. I'm going to try to pull it up for you guys real quick. Let me, I have to go. Where did I see? I saw on Twitter. And I'm hoping I can show this without getting YouTube pissed off at me. But I do want to remind you guys real quick, the Discord is open. There's room for 3 other people on the Discord call. If you go into the Discord, link is in the description below. There is a general voice thing on there. That's what I'm in right now. So you guys can go on there, pop on, say what's up. I probably won't bother screwing with any cameras right now. But your voice will be heard loud and clear. Let me see if I can go find this real quick. So well, here's Twitter reactions. Numerous athletes were stunned to see the bizarre scene break out between Will Smith and Chris Rock during Sunday's Oscars. I think we were all a little surprised. Let's see. Leslie Odom Jr. comments on the Will Smith-Chris Rock incident. That's a big incident. It's something. Let me try to go down and find the clip again because somebody I follow on Twitter. See, Will Smith is an insecure dude. This is from Sports Stew. Will Smith is an insecure dude that can't take a joke. Chris Rock was making fun because he knows Jada is hot. Now, let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys so you guys can see what I've got going on here. I'm just going over some Twitter shit right now. Let's see. Window capture. And we're going to go with... You guys are just going to see what's on my Twitter. And here it is for all the world to see. Let me try to frame it up a little bit for you guys there. All right, so here's my Twitter as I'm looking at it right now. So you guys are seeing what I'm seeing on Twitter. But, can someone please tell me what happened to our society? That's all another thing. Coda and Apple make history with the first win for Best Picture. I haven't seen Coda yet. I'm still about 4 movies behind on my viewing for the Best Picture nominees. I've heard Coda is a very, very good movie, and it's probably the next one I want to watch. So I'll be watching that one soon. I love Marlee Matlin. She's been in a lot of stuff, and she's been very, very good. Too soon? Oh, Jada Smith. That's tough. We'll get to the apology in a second, but I want to see if I can find the video that somebody had put out. but yeah, it's definitely. Oh, Brandon Chastain won. Yes, very very good, very very good. That if you have not seen The Eyes of Tammy Faye, if you are, let me see if I can get my camera up here so you guys can see my handsome sexy face while I'm doing this. If you guys are not watching things like The Eyes of Tammy Faye, if you guys are old enough to remember Jim and Tammy Faye Baker back in the 80s and early 90s, the PTL club and all that shit, you should definitely give this a watch if you're old enough to remember that, because it is actually a very, very, very good movie. And let me add this right here so you guys can see all my handsomeness. And there's that. Sorry for the ramshackle way I seem to be approaching this whole thing, but yeah, if you guys have not seen The Eyes of Tammy Faye, it is damn good. It is a very, very good film. It outlines that whole thing with Jim Tammy Faye Baker. I forget the name of the chick that he was banging, all the malfeasance that was going on in that whole thing. But yeah, I'm trying to get to the. Twitter's been kind of blowing up now that the Oscars are pretty much wrapped up. If they did Best Picture, then. Actually, it was Diamond and Silk that shared it. Let me just go right to their page so we can actually get a look at what happened. Now, I'm hoping I don't take a pinch for this. I want to play this motherfucker. It's probably not a good idea, but I'm playing it. So, let's see. Will Smith, well, that's interesting. Will Smith comforted by Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry after he slapped Chris Rock in the face. I wouldn't have imagined that Denzel would have approved of that kind of shit. But anyway, we'll look at it now. Here it is. I hope I don't get nicked for this, but I'm going to show it because, I mean, we got to talk about it. I mean, this is commentary. So I think I should be okay with YouTube. But I want to play this shit because, you know, this is it. Take a listen. Take a look. Eventually when my computer decides it wants to catch
up. Tonight, Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
But you see, she kind of reacts funny right there. Like she didn't like it.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh. Richard.
Here he comes.
Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Wow.
Out your fucking mouth.
You see, this is...
Wow,
look,
dude.
This is not fake.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
Wow.
Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay.
And that's pretty much.
So we are here.
He does go on to talk for a few minutes about that courtesy of Prime 7 in Australia, I believe. They actually aired the whole thing uncensored. But yeah, I mean, hey, and look at that picture right there. That pretty much sums it up. That's going to be a meme. That meme is going to be all over the internet in the next 3 or 4 hours. Like that shit right there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to save that shit. I gotta meme the fuck out of that right now. It's like, oh goodness. Yeah, that's gonna be all over the place. Now look, I mean, I'll just go ahead and save it right there. That's some pictures that I had saved for to make the thumbnail. I'll just go ahead and save that there, and I'll mess with that later. But good God, I mean, how do you process that? I mean, now, what sucks is I really wanted to go over the winners. I really wanted to talk about that shit, but now this is just going to run over the entire Oscar discussion. But, yeah, Rose, you can jump in whenever you want, man. I mean, I wasn't planning on doing all this alone. I was hoping some people would pop in. But I mean, seriously, this is just kind of running over everything. I wanted to talk about the winners. I wanted to talk about Coda. I wanted to talk about Will Smith winning Best Actor for playing Richard Williams in King Richard, which I watched the other night. I gave my short review. It's up on the channel if you want to watch it. It's a really good movie. But no, this is going to run over the entire Oscar discussion. And that's pretty unfortunate. But wow, I mean, look, did he go too far? I mean, because, look, you tell jokes when you're a comedian. Chris Rock is a comedian by trade. So this is where... oh yeah, it was probably censored on TV, but it did not get censored in Australia apparently, and that's where that clip came from. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter because it's out there now. It's out there on Twitter. It's everywhere. Everybody's got it. Everybody's seen it. So there is no censoring it now in the court of public opinion. But I mean, it's crazy. Now I do want to track down Will Smith's Oscar speech where he apparently apologizes. But I mean, really, does it matter? I mean, I'm really, really shocked that Will Smith made an ass of himself like that. That is not what I expect to see from him. Not at all. He's always been a very, at least publicly anyway, a very measured and thoughtful person when he's been in public. And not only is he out in public now, he is on the biggest stage in entertainment that happens every year. I mean, you've got probably 8 million people watching the Oscars. You are in a room full of your peers, some of the most important people that have ever been in entertainment. And he went up there and acted like this? That was odd. I feel like that the Will Smith that I've always watched probably would have caught him in the hallway afterwards and maybe slapped him, but probably would have cooled down enough and just been like, dude, I didn't really appreciate the joke about the wife. And Chris Rock would have been like, you know, bro, I'm sorry. I just threw it out there. Now, there is this thing going around saying that Jada Pinkett apparently has been suffering from some kind of a health thing. I don't follow Jada Pinkett all that closely, so I'm not 100% sure. And that's why does not have her head, why she has her head shaved or has very short hair. Now, that's entirely possible. I don't know. I don't know her medical history. I don't know her business. But still, I mean, does Chris Rock know this? What is it? I didn't know it, and I follow the entertainment industry fairly closely. Like I said, I don't dig in her personal life, but I don't know. I don't know how to take this. It's very, 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 very odd. This is not the kind of behavior I expect to see out of Will Smith. But I'm going to go check out the list of Oscar winners. Oh, goodness. The whole thing, just strange. Yeah, I don't even know how to process that. He said, I bet it's going to be on the morning shows. It's already all over the internet. I mean, the morning shows are going to blow up with this shit. And I spelled winners wrong. I spelled it Winers, W-I-N-E-R-S. Ha! That's ironic. But let's go to the AV Club and see what they have to say about all the Oscar winners. I'll go ahead and roll through this. Some of them I'll roll through fairly quickly. Some of the lesser talked about things. Now, I will tell you that, like I said, I have not seen all the Best Picture nominees yet. I'm still 4 movies short of doing it. I'm hoping to do it by Thursday before we go over our best, our favorites. But Coda, I've heard, is very, very good. Again, I'm hoping this thing loads fast enough to where I can get, I'll just start with wherever we end up at. Let's see. You can load anything? And there it is right there. Well, I mean, there it is, Jezebel. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars for making a joke about his wife. It's out there. It's everywhere. But, oh, hell, I'm already past all. Okay, so Best Documentary Short, The Queen of Basketball. Okay, Best Sound, No Time to Die. Okay. Animated Short, The Windshield Wiper. Okay. Live Action Short, The Long Goodbye. I haven't heard of any of these, but okay. Best Original Score, Dune. Don't Look Up, Encanto, Power of the Dog, Parallel Mothers. Okay, Dune won. Dune is probably going to win a lot of them. Film editing, Dune, not a surprise at all. Big sci-fi spectacles like that tend to win the editing and the cinematography stuff. Hairstyling and makeup, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Again, no big surprise. Coming to America and Cruella. Well, actually, come to think of it, all those probably had a dog in the fight. I mean, I haven't seen House of Gucci yet, but I've seen Dune, Cruella, Coming to America Part 2. And The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and they were all really, really good. Production design was Dune. I haven't seen Power of the Dog yet. I haven't seen The Tragedy of Macbeth yet or West Side Story. Probably all those had a dog in the fight. Best Supporting Actress was Ariana DeBose from The West Side Story. That's the first big one. Judi Dench from Belfast. That's my personal favorite coming into tonight for Best Film. Kirsten Dunst for Power of the Dog. Let's see. Cinematography was Dune. Again, big sci-fi stuff usually goes like that. Visual effects is probably the only one that a lot of the popular movies are going to be in. Free Guy won. No Time to Die. Shang-Chi. I'm guessing. Oh no, Dune won. Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi, and The Legend of Ten Rings, and Spider-Man: No Way Home, all nominated. I think all those probably could have won it. Best animated feature was Encanto. Not surprised too much. Raya and the Last Dragon, I actually thought was really, really good. I don't think I've seen the other ones. I haven't seen Luca. I haven't seen Flea. That caught my interest the other day when I was looking at it, but I didn't get a chance to sit and watch it. Best supporting actor, Troy Kotsur for Coda. Syrian Hines again in Belfast was phenomenal. J.K. Simmons and Being the Ricardos, do not sleep on that fucking movie. I know it's an Amazon film and it didn't go to theaters, but Being the Ricardos, if you have not seen that movie, it's on Amazon Prime for free. If you have a Prime membership, go watch it. It's a really interesting look about a week in the life of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz and just what they went through to make an episode and what the real relationships were like between her and her co-stars and her husband, and some of the other stuff that she dealt with over the course of her life was kind of peppered in there, like being accused of being a communist and shit like that. But that was a very, very good movie that I hope you guys go and watch. It was really, really good. Let's see. Best international feature was Drive My Car. That was nominated for best film. I got to be honest, nothing about that movie interests me. For one, it's an interesting enough premise. A guy who is in the theater in Japan has to drive to Hiroshima for something. I forget what. His wife had died early on in the movie or before the movie starts, and it's about somebody who's driving him to where he's going, some spiritual journey. But it's 3 hours long. I'm okay with like a very cerebral, philosophical, spiritual thing, but 3 hours, that's a long, long time to devote to something like that. But I'll try to sit. It's my last movie I want to sit and watch. Costume design, Cruella. That makes sense. Costume design for that movie was outrageous. Cyrano is interesting. If that's even, has it been released yet? That's interesting. Cyrano hasn't even been released yet. Somehow it was in there for this Oscar season. That's weird. Dune, another good one. Nightmare Alley, another good one. West Side Story. That makes sense. But Cruella was pretty good. Best original screenplay went to Belfast. Belfast is a fantastic movie. Don't Look Up was funny, but it wasn't much more than that. King Richard was pretty good. I haven't seen Licorice Pizza yet. It's another one I got to watch. Best adapted screenplay went to Coda. Coda looked like it won a few of the bigger awards. Beating out Dune, Drive My Car, The Lost Daughter, and Power of the Dog. I've heard Coda's very good. I got to watch it eventually. Documentary feature. I'm guessing this is the one that got Chris Rock slapped. But let's see. We've got Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised. I have not seen that documentary, to be absolutely honest. I haven't seen Ascension. I haven't seen any of those, to be perfectly honest. Let's see. What is next? We've got Best Original Song. No Time to Die, of course. The Bond songs almost always seem to win this award. Be Alive by King Richard. God damn it. I'm Mexican and I can't pronounce that right now. It's getting kind of late and I'm tired. Down to Joy from Belfast is actually a really, really good song. And Somehow You Do, 4 Good Days. Yeah, no, the Bond movies almost always win this award whenever they release one. Best Director, Power of the Dog, Jane Campion. Me personally, I've only seen Belfast on this list. I have not seen Licorice Pizza, West Side Story, Drive My Car, or The Power of the Dog yet. But Belfast was awfully damn good. That was my favorite for Best Picture coming into the night. Let's see. Best Actor, Will Smith, King Richard. He beat out Javier Bardem. Again, he was fantastic as Ricky Ricardo in Being the Ricardos. I've not seen Benedict Cumberbatch. Andrew Garfield got nominated for Tick, Tick, Boom. I've heard is really good. Denzel got nominated because every time he's in front of a camera, he gets nominated. Best Actress, again, Jessica Chastain. Good call. Good call. I also love Olivia Colman. She's been playing Queen Elizabeth for the last couple seasons at The Crown. She is damn good. Penelope Cruz also nominated. Nicole Kidman for she played Lucille Ball in Being the Ricardos. Fantastic. And Kristen Stewart and Spencer. My problem with Spencer, I started to watch that movie one night. And as I was reading a little bit about it as the opening credits were rolling, I realized that it was actually a dramatized telling of some story that somebody she knew wrote. And I'm like, I'm not really into third or fourth party characterizations being made into a movie. Something tells me that movie wasn't going to be any more than like 10% real. So I just hit stop and stopped watching it. I'm not saying that Kristen Stewart did a bad job, and maybe one of these days I'll filter back to it. But as soon as I read that it was going to be some other characterization of somebody doing shit, then I wasn't interested in it at all. Let's see. So, but yeah, Jessica Chastain was fantastic in that movie. And Best Picture, there it is right there, folks. Coda beating out Belfast, Don't Look Up, Dune, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog, Drive My Car, King Richard, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. Like I said, my personal favorite of all the ones I've watched so far is Belfast. I've heard Coda's very, very good, and I really do want to sit and watch it because I've heard from a lot of people that it was great. But I'll get there eventually. But there are your Oscar winners for the 2022 Oscar season. But again, a lot of awards given out to a lot of great people, and it's all going to be overshadowed by Will Smith. It's like, what do you do? Let me try to find his Best Picture speech. Yeah, and deadlines all over about it. The Oscars 2022 recognized the war in Ukraine with a moment of silence, calls for donations and ribbons to remind of the crisis of refugees, but any references to pleas for humanity were overshadowed by the blow that Will Smith landed on Chris Rock. That makes perfect fucking sense. There is a weird irony in all that. But whatever. Let's see. I guess this is it right here. Let's go ahead and let me go back and put this on real quick so we can go listen to this. Let's listen to his speech. Play whenever you want, computer. You guys get to see my computer's lag in all its glory.
Oh, man. Richard Williams was a fierce defender of his family.
Nice lead in to
In this time in my life, in this moment, I am overwhelmed by what God is calling on me to do and be in this world. Making this film, I got to protect Ingenue Ellis, who was one of the strongest, most delicate people I've ever met. I got to protect Sanaya and Demi, the two actresses that played Venus and Serena. I'm being called on in my life to love people and to protect people and to be a river to my people. And I know to do what we do, you got to be able to take abuse. You got to be able to have people talk crazy about you. In this business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you. And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay. But Richard Williams, and what I loved, thank you, D. Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, at your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for you. It's like I want to be a vessel for love. I want to say thank you to Venus and Serena. I just spit. I hope they didn't see that on TV. I want to say thank you to Venus and Serena and the entire Williams family for entrusting me with your story. That's what I want to do. I want to be an ambassador of that kind of love and care and concern.
That's not them trying to stop me from
I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. This is a beautiful moment, and I'm not crying for winning an award. It's not about winning an award for me. It's about being able to shine light on all of the people, Tim and Trevor and Zach and Sanaya and Demi and Ingenue and the entire cast and crew of King Richard and Venus and Serena, the entire Williams family. Art imitates life. I look like the crazy father, just like they said. I look like crazy father, just like they said about Richard Williams. But love will make you do crazy things. To my mother, a lot of this moment is really complicated for me, but to my mother, she didn't want to come out. She had her knitting friends. She has a knitting crew that she's in Philly watching with. Being able to love and care for my mother and my family, my wife. I'm taking up too much time. Thank you for this honor. Thank you for this moment, and thank you on behalf of Richard and Oracene, the entire Williams family. Thank you. Hope the Academy invites me back. Thank you.
Okay, so a few hot takes from this thing. The primary one is that he obviously he did not apologize. I didn't hear an apology out of any of that shit. So, now I'm sure he's probably sorry. I'm sure he probably wishes he didn't do it. But people were calling that an apology. A tearful apology during his speech is how it was labeled by somebody. I see no apology out of that. I saw no apology out of that at all. But whatever. If he would have apologized, I wouldn't have felt so. I wouldn't, I would feel a little worse for him. I would not be so bothered by his actions. But, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna have to think on this for a night. I mean, this is probably something we're definitely going to get into on Thursday. I definitely want to get Jeremy and Cora's thoughts on this. And maybe I'll bring somebody else on Thursday just to try to rip it out, just to push the discussion. But I don't understand it. Now, like I said, I get it. I get him wanting to protect his wife. I think there was a different way to do it. I think he knew that he was doing it with 8 million people watching. I think he knew he was doing it in a room full of his peers. And I don't think that escaped him in the moment. Now, I can understand his frustration trying to defend your wife. Sometimes you get a little narrow, a little tunnel visioned on that, and you don't really see the broader picture, the bigger picture, the broader perspective. But still, that's not what I'm used to seeing out of Will Smith. But I don't know. I'm going to have to think on this a lot more over the course of the next few days. We have a show coming up on Thursday where we give you our Oscar nominees for our decision on Best Picture. And I don't know. We'll probably have to talk about this again then. I think we'll most definitely have to talk about this again then. But anyway, that's the news about the Oscars. I mean, as much as everybody else, I mean, this will see. Like, I love Matthew Martin. Real quick to show you his tweet that he just put up. It says, "This will soon be replaced." This meme will soon be replaced. The one of Batman slapping Robin. Yeah, yeah, yep. That's how it's gonna happen. All right. We got a new meme coming. A new meme that's gonna take over the internet, and it's gonna be Chris Rock and Will Smith with Will Smith's hands upside his damn head. But let me go to the chat, see what you guys are saying real quick. Again, Frederico, what's going on? The Rose says, was Zelensky there? I saw he was, wrong button. I saw he was in talks with the Oscars for something. I didn't watch the telecast because I can't watch the Oscars. I can't watch these rich Hollywood elitists just pat each other in the back. It's not what the Oscars used to be. The Oscars that I grew up watching were different. They really were a celebration of every level of filmmaking, from the actors and directors all the way down to like the cameramen and cinematography and then the makeup people and all that. And yes, those people still get awards, but it seems like this is all just a bunch of flash and show now to make themselves feel good, and I don't dig it anymore. And I don't think a lot of people dig it anymore. I mean, look at the ratings. The ratings have only ever been up over last year's telecast once in the last, I think, 17 years. Every other year has been down. So, I mean, it's not just me. I don't think it is. Let's see. The Rose says, I'm sure that was all censored on TV, too. I don't know. I mean, if I went back and watched the telecast on something like Hulu right now, I would be seeing a version that's already been cut up and edited. I didn't watch it live, so I don't know. But I don't know if it went out live on TV or not. That clip that I showed you guys of it actually happening was from Australia. So, I don't know. TSS says, while I understand why Will was pissed, he could have just talked to Chris Rock after the show. He let his anger get the best of him. I agree. There's nothing wrong about what you just said. Nothing wrong at all. And, yeah, I'm disappointed. And again, I'm also kind of disappointed in his acceptance speech. It was being billed as some apology in a couple of tweets, and it's not an apology. It's not at all. Now, whether he wants to apologize and have a discussion with Chris Rock all on his own, I mean, that would be fine. I would respect him for that. But right now, I just don't like Will Smith. His actions are not good. Let's see. I bet it's going to be in the morning show, says Rodrigo. Absolutely will be. TSS is not surprised by Dune winning a lot of awards. Neither am I. The sci-fi stuff, the comic book movies, things like that, Star Wars, Dune, DC, Marvel, they win a lot of the cinematography stuff. Those are the only real awards they want them to win. You're never going to see some of this shit get nominated for Best Picture. I mean, I don't know, for the life of me, I don't know why a couple of different movies haven't been nominated for Best Picture. But, whatever. That's the way it is. They're genrecists. They only want certain genres to win. They want period pieces and dramas to win the big awards, and they don't want anything else to win those awards. They just want that. Let's see. TSS says, the only movie on these lists that I have seen is Dune. Every other film I haven't seen yet. There's a couple of really good ones on there, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, Don't Look Up was nominated. It's a funny movie. It's not a great movie. I don't know why it was nominated over other things like, Spider-Man No Way Home. But Belfast, again, is another great movie. It's about the unrest in Northern Ireland during the 1960s and how all that stuff popped off. And it's really interesting. It tells you through the eyes of a child. I mean, while all this craziness is going on around him, he just wants to try to hook up with this cute blonde girl from his class. And he's seeing this and he's trying to understand it all. It's a very interesting movie. TSS also says to me, this has been the quietest Oscar build-up and hype yet. Well, there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, the entertainment industry is still dealing with the ramifications of shutting down because of the pandemic. So I understand it. Number two is they haven't been getting the viewers, so their ad revenue has been falling off, so they can't advertise for it the way they did 20, 30 years ago. I mean, in the 70s and 80s, when the Oscars was still a big night, they knew they were going to get 25, 30 million people watching. Now they're down around 10, I think, on average over the last 15 years. So there's just the money is changing. So you can't spend the kind of money on marketing and stuff like that you would have 20 years ago when you had twice as many people watching the show. That's the way it's been. Steve Callan, I don't know. However you pronounce your name anymore, Steve. The Oscars not the same. I agree. Yeah, they're trying to do different things. Now, I'll give them credit for this. They have to evolve the way they portray and display the Oscars as time goes on, because because the taste of the audience is going to change and evolve. So you have to try to match that change and that evolution. The problem is they haven't made a lot of good moves. Like this whole idea that they've had for the last couple of years of most popular movie. Well, what's even the criteria for that? Is it just box office numbers? I don't understand that. Do you let people vote on it online? Because that kind of stuff can be fucked with too. I mean, not to say anything about the presidential election stuff, but I mean, there have been multiple cases of people screwing with those things. I just don't get it. But JSP says, truth be told, I've never been a fan of award shows. Honestly, for the longest time, I haven't either. The only award show moment I can really look back on fondly is when Susan Lucci snapped her Emmy losing streak at her 19th nomination. Honestly, that's probably one of the last really great moments in any award show. That's probably the last great moment in any award show. I can't think of anything since then. They've all been kind of either very obvious, like Anthony Hopkins winning one or Denzel winning one. I mean, they turned on that performance so high that at least that one time that it was just they went and running away. But I don't know. Like I said, they need to do something. Honestly, I think the Academy needs to try to take a few steps back. They've been so inundated with this crap about diversity and Jada Pinkett and the Oscars so white thing, which is ironic because her husband's been nominated 2 or 3 times for Best Actor. He just won one tonight. I don't get it, but I mean, they've got to find some way to evolve with the taste of the audience. They just have to be very careful about how they do it. And I think maybe taking a step back and simplifying things a little bit would be the best way to go. I read an article yesterday or day before yesterday that they had something like 60,000 of these special crystals are what were hanging in the background of all this shit. And what the hell are they called? I almost called them kyber crystals, but I know they're not those. But I forget the name of the damn crystal. But yeah, I mean, and these are some of the most expensive crystals you can find on the planet. And they had 60,000 of them hanging down in strings in the background. That was background. Shit that nobody was really going to focus on because you're focusing on Will Smith up there getting his Oscar. You're focusing on, the people up there getting their Oscar for Best Director, Best Actress, whatever. You're focusing on that. You're not looking at that shiny thing that's hanging in the back. I don't know why they couldn't just put some shaped glass, some cubic zirconium back there and just been like, okay, this is what it is. I don't understand that. But again, it goes back to this mindset that these elitists need to put on this night for themselves, and they want to be surrounded by the best. They want to be surrounded by opulence. So, whatever. Let's see. JSP says Hollywood has the tools to actually consult with the audience. They do. And they use that tool to try to shut down the audience in some ways. Yeah, they do. He also says the ultimate measure of movie popularity is box office revenue. I don't think that's the ultimate measure. I mean, because if you think about it, Avatar right now is the highest grossing movie ever at the box office. And that movie had no staying power. It really didn't. I mean, yeah, that year there was people dressed up as the Blue Aliens. There was people dressed up as Sully and things like that. But a year after that, no, that movie was completely out of the public consciousness. I really do think that movie had two things going for it. One, it was visually stunning. It's probably one of the greatest movies ever made. I mean, I could put that movie on right now, hit mute, and just watch the visuals. They're so stunning. Number two, it was in theaters for literally a calendar year. Most movies are not in theaters for more than, pre-pandemic, before the theatrical window closed. Very rarely did you see anything in the theaters more than 4 to 6 months. And if something had real good legs, it was 6 months. But usually 4 months it was out of theaters, and then it was 6 months after that you'd find it in the secondary markets like DVD, streaming, things like that. Nowadays that theatrical window is only 45 days. It's not 90. They've cut it in half. So I think it's really that. And on top of that, it got a lot of 3D sales because that movie does look, again, it looks really great in 3D. But honestly, look, people are still dressing up as Yoda and Luke Skywalker, and those movies are 45, 46 years old. 45 years old. People are still dressing up as those characters. Han Solo, Princess Leia. In the last 5 years, have you seen anybody dressed up as anything from Avatar? I haven't. He just had no staying power. Let's see, Michael Sachs. What's up, my brother? What's going on? Glad you could come by and hang out. TSS also says, let's see, not to mention the rules are very convoluted. Your movie has to come out at a certain time to get nominated, but yet a film from 2019, 2020 was nominated for one of their awards. It makes no sense. I agree. Well, really, there's only two rules to be nominated for an Oscar. You have to open in that calendar year, and you have to have your opening in Los Angeles and New York. Those are the only two rules that you have to satisfy to make yourself Oscar eligible. What comes into it after that, and this is one of the reasons why publicists are such a big thing in Hollywood, is these companies production companies rather, will go and hire a publicist to really to put together these marketing campaigns. They will actually they actually have these letters to go out to the Oscar voters saying, this is where the for your consideration thing comes from. For your consideration here is Belfast. We offer this for your consideration for Best Picture, Best Director, and whatever else we want to try to get thrown in for. And then they decide whether you're going to get nominated in that category or not. So it's really all about marketing. That's what drives these movies in the Oscar categories. But yeah, now the last couple years, now you say films from 2019 and 2020 were nominated. The last couple years has been weird because of the pandemic. They had kind of altered the way they had set the dates for some of these things. So I'm thinking one of the reasons that Cyrano was in this year's Oscar class, despite the fact that it still hasn't hit theaters yet and it wouldn't be technically eligible until next year's Oscars, a year from now, is because they were switching some things around, trying to get some things right to try to satisfy all these films that end up getting pushed or messed up because of the pandemic and the theaters all being closed. So I understand. That's them trying to do what they can to try to satisfy all these movies. But whether it works or not, I mean, it's something we're going to have to look at that in the long term and see if that worked. Let's see. Last year, the Critical Dribbler had a great assessment of what to do after the Oscars. Oh, the Critical Drinker. Yeah. I watched Critical Drinker a few times. I like his channel. Most popular movie isn't for the current year. No. The most popular movie is not actually a category. It's something they've been knocking around making a category for the last couple of years. But most film fans, most people in the industry, hate the idea. It's terrible. Because basically, it's like... The only reason they're thinking about doing it is because of things like Spider-Man. You have a movie like Spider-Man No Way Home, which explodes. Everybody loves it. Critics love it. Fans love it. It makes $1 bajillion at the box office, but doesn't get nominated for anything. Except for, like, screenplay or special effects or whatever. It gets nominated for those things, but it doesn't get nominated for anything like Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Director, anything like that. The problem is the Academy itself are genrecists. They don't want to see these movies win these awards. If you would have put Spider-Man No Way Home in contention in Best Picture, I guarantee it would have maybe not won, but finished in the top 3 in voting. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. As a matter of fact, a lot of people think that the only reason why Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture a few years back when it came out was because they were like, well, we can finally nominate this movie because it's a black film, which I don't necessarily like that connotation for that movie. I think it's a comic book movie. But they were trying to kill two birds with one stone. We're going to go ahead and nominate a superhero movie to make some of the fans happy, and we've got this awesome black actor in Chadwick Boseman, rest his soul, Wakanda forever. We've got this great black actor out there that we can throw up there. He was never going to win. That was never going to win Best Picture. They threw it in there just for shits and giggles, just for looks. And I think that's sad. I think a lot of people realize that. Let's see. Are they referring to most popular movie of all time? No, just of the last of that Oscar season from January 1st to December 31st. Anything released in that date from the year before. I meant for the year, but absolutely agree. Yeah, I just don't like it. It's bad. It's a bad look. So anyway, I've talked far too much about the Oscars and talked about all kinds of things that really made no difference at all to what I wanted to talk about. But we're going to go ahead and move on. He said, JSP says, in a way you can measure that per year anyway, box office movie of the year, even though it's not part of the Oscars. Well, the thing is you have to define the metrics. Is it going to be a combination of box office? Is it going to be with fan voting? Is it going to be critic reviews? Is it going to be, this, add in this, that, and the other thing? I don't mind them putting out their criteria, because the criteria is what's going to make that thing work or not work. If it's just most popular movie and we're going to give a special award to whatever movie had the biggest box office, then, let's face it. Movies like Transformers have big box office and they're terrible. Movies like the Fast and the Furious movies have big box offices and they're terrible. All it takes, and even that, all it's going to take is 1 year where maybe Marvel releases a couple of individual solo movies that do good but not great, and then a movie like Fast 9 ends up winning the box office. And then you have to give an Oscar to Fast 9, even though most people, even Fast and Furious fans, hated that movie. But it made a lot of money. So, whatever. Let's see. Here comes Casey is Raw. When are you going to do a podcast with me about your gaming console history, Frank, or are you too good to do it? I have no gaming console history. I've been a casual gamer my entire life. I've never been a professional gamer. It's no secret. I'm a casual gamer. I play for fun. I don't play for serious shit. Every now and again, I jump on with guys like Casey or sometimes a couple times with Jeremy, Aaron from time to time, and I'll play a little bit of stuff online. But for the most part, I game because I can't shoot people in real life anymore. So video games is kind of the way it goes. Let's see. TSS says it's because it's not artsy enough and doesn't tell a deep message, even though all films can have themes in them. Anyone with an understanding of film analysis could do. I agree. I mean, there's all kinds of great messages in the Marvel movies. There's all kinds of great messages in the Star Wars movies. There's all kinds of great messages in a lot of movies that are never going to get credit from the Academy, unless it's just all about, whatever, special effects. It's like, great. They won special effects. It says, yeah, Transformers, the movie 86 was better than the Bayformers movies. I disagree with the first two. I think the first two were good. From then on, it was a steady decline in quality until you get to Bumblebee. Bumblebee was actually a pretty good movie, but that wasn't Michael Bay. Actually, I think he was technically a producer, but I don't think he had anything to do with the actual making of the film. Fun little note, they filmed a lot of that movie, Bumblebee, in my hometown of Santa Cruz, California. So in the scenes early in the movie where she's riding her little scooter down the pier, that's actually the wharf in California where I grew up, and behind her is the boardwalk. That's the amusement park along the beach that I grew up screwing around with all the time. He says, I mean, your childhood console history. It's for fun. Dude, I go back to the Atari 2600. Bro, I'm old. No bullshit, I'm old. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something we can talk about some other time. I mean, I'm trying to do some different things in the channel here coming up over the course of 2022, so maybe we can do something like that. But yeah, I'm going to move on from the Oscar stuff now. I need a day to process this thing with Will Smith and Chris Rock. I need to sleep on it. And as far as the winners are concerned, again, all of it's just been overshadowed by that one moment that shouldn't have been and the one apology that never was. But we'll move on from there. And I want to talk about, let's see, what did I do with my notes? Oh, NFL free agency. This is a good time for somebody to call in and talk football. Again, I want to remind you guys that Discord's open. That's why I have my headset on, just in case anybody pops on, I can hear him. If you go to the general channel, actually the Rose is in there now, so if Rose wants to start talking now, he is more than welcome to. But there's room for, I think, 3 other people, including me, on there. Just want to pop in and say what's up, start talking about some football. Michael Sachs, what's going on, my brother? JSP says the first 2 Terminator movies are my favorite movies, period. Which takes the top spot, Frank? Terminator 2. Terminator 2, by far. Terminator is a great movie. Don't get me wrong. It's fantastic sci-fi. With little tastes of horror here and there. But Terminator 2 is far superior. The only thing Terminator 2 was missing that Terminator 1 had, again, was some of those horror notes, those horror themes. It was kind of a typical 80s action movie. Well, 90s, I guess, really, since it came out like 91, 92. But, yeah, it's Terminator 2 by far for me. I actually kind of like Terminator 3 as well, Rise of the Machines. But the one thing I like about that movie is not necessarily the movie itself, is the ending. Because if you think about it, if there was any way to stop Judgment Day at all, there wouldn't have been a need for a second movie. So the fact that they even show up to try to go after John Connor in Terminator 2 means that Judgment Day was inevitable. That's something I've always thought anyway. But anyway, the Rose is in Discord. He's trying to get his shit together so he can pop in. Been working a lot. Got married. Michael Sachs got married. What'd you go and do something so silly for, my man? No, I'm just playing, man. Congratulations, Michael. I'm so very, very glad. I'm glad I hope you and your wife are having a good time. Enjoying all the honeymoon period of the marriage. And is that Rose talking on the phone? Hey, here's the Rose and Casey. I got them both.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes.
Just in time to talk some football.
See, I thought I wasn't welcome on the show. I thought I was banned from the show, Frank.
That's the Thursday show. This is the Sunday post show from Derailed.
No, I had to give you shit.
But if you say anything stupid or talk about any old people dying, that's it. You're done. You're done, boy. Yeah.
I just had to come up and take advantage of the invite.
Yeah, like I said, Discord's open. There's room for one more person if anybody wants to pop on and talk some shit. I am now done talking about the Oscars. Talking about football. It's been a crazy offseason. It's an insane offseason. Look, for one, I was saying a while back, this has been the craziest offseason for quarterbacks that I can remember. It's because it started out, it felt like it was going to be just Garoppolo was going to be the thing that drove the quarterback market. And then all of a sudden it's like Matt Ryan's on the market. fucking dude from Indies moving again? What's the, Brady retires. What are they going to do? And then it became, is Brady going to go to San Francisco? Yeah, so much crazy shit going on in the NFL. We're not even to the draft yet. The draft's still almost a month away. And I have a feeling the draft's going to bring some crazy shit too.
I was never into the draft, but that was something my late wife really got into. She would get into the draft because she was really not only into football, she was really into fantasy football. So she would sit home and watch the draft. I'm like, how could you sit down and watch the draft that often? I can understand maybe the first round, but after that, I mean, I wouldn't.
I love, the thing about the draft is, even the teams that are really, really shitty, they feel like they're going to win something.
I lose you guys?
No, I can hear you. But it's even the teams that are really, really shitty on draft day can feel like they win something. Because it's you finished last in the NFL, you have the worst record, you didn't make the playoffs, you only won 1 or 2 games all year, but you're the guy who gets the best player out of the draft that year. You get the pick of the litter, the one you want. That's one of the things that's exciting about draft day.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck with my mic, man. I don't know. It won't, Discord won't recognize my Elgato mic. I don't get it. But, yeah, what's going on, guys?
You need to get better shit, then.
It's a $260 microphone, Casey. It's better than fucking anything you have.
Well, maybe you need to get a $300 microphone.
You want to buy it for me? Go right ahead.
I don't have that money.
He's still using the
Frank, mic. What's going on, bro?
Nothing, just chilling, man. Taking over the Sunday post show duties while Drew's selling cheese, slinging his cheese.
Speaking of Drew, Frank, I don't know. I don't remember exactly when you got off, but man, he was so fucked up the other night. We actually went until 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, I know.
That's nuts.
And then at that point, I still didn't finish Zelda, so he's pushing me to fucking record the rest of it and do a derailed after show kind of thing. And so I did, and I sent it to him. And man, he just got so fucked up, man. Drew said some shit that I don't even know if any of it made sense, but he spit some fucking gold in that freaking recording I did for him. He's gonna put it on Patreon later in the week.
I think this is a post show. I should go dark mode.
Well,
he was fucking plastered. He was sauced.
Oh, I want to know. Did he say the N-word again?
God, I hope not.
If you get it.
I gotta turn my lights off. I'll be right back.
I mean, if he did, he's gonna have me dump it. So.
Let me turn my lights off. I'll be right back.
But I know that I heard that. I've seen he got to dungeon number 9.
Yeah, I finished the game. It took me about an hour and 40 something minutes after he finally ended the show to beat the game, and then because it was recorded, I just edited out all the freaking me farming for hearts and rupees. I'm like, fuck this shit. So it made it look like I beat it a little faster when I was done editing, but yeah, it took me almost 9 hours to beat a 3-hour game.
Oh, you didn't know what to do. I mean,
you knew what to do and still gave up.
Well, the thing is, trying to get past those thought nuts, those guys are the worst to get past. Those damn soldiers, or those damn knights. Those guys
anybody on Drew's Patreon, that'll be something you can look forward to in the coming days. Probably not until he gets back from his business trip, but it'll be on the Patreon at some point.
I do want to.
I'm sure there's gonna be audio I'm gonna have to dump. I told him to look through it because he was so drunk. I didn't want him to upload something that he might regret saying or he can't say or shouldn't have said. So I'm just
It's
gonna
like,
I'm gonna let him check through it, and if he tells me to dump any of the audio, I'll go and re-edit it. But if he does that, I'm gonna post the unedited parts on my Twitter if I can. If he
does
lets
he
me.
dox anyone? Does he dox anyone?
I mean, he said some shit that he probably shouldn't have said, and Cora reminded him that I was recording because he told me to record. Dude, he was so fucked up that a half hour after he ended the show, he thought we were still live. I'm like, Drew, you don't remember ending the show a half hour ago?
Well, just
There we go.
be serious. Just take good judgment, and if you think something needs to be taken out, take it out.
Well, I don't know
If it
Drew.
doesn't-
If he said anything personal, I'm not going to know about it, really. So I'm going to have him scrub through it, and if he thinks I should dump something, I'm going to dump it. Simple as that.
Well, I'm just saying, if you think something you think needs to be taken out, take it out.
But
Like,
this may be the derailed post show. But let's, I don't mean to take it away from Frank. He wants to talk about some football, so.
I do want to take a minute to thank a couple of subscribers that have come on in the last week. One of them was Chris L. You just saw him come across the bottom of the screen. I also want to say thank you to Kyle R., who subscribed. Thank you very much. I hope you like what you see and you come back for more. Again, we're here every Thursday talking about all the stuff going on in the world of entertainment and different reviews coming up. I think next Monday, the Morbius review is going to be coming up with me, Jeremy, possibly Cora, if she wants to be in on it. And I think I might call Connor, see if he wants in on it. I haven't had Connor on the show yet. And I also want to thank Herbie Herb. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, thanks a lot for subscribing. I appreciate you guys. Come back, hang out, share the stuff. Also, don't forget, you can see down there, 500 subscribers. Means a charity stream for the Abandoned Pet Project. We're at 340 right now. We were at 341 yesterday. I lost one somewhere. It's all right, though. We're going to go up. We're on the way up. And when we get there, we're going to do this charity stream for the Abandoned Pet Project. And all the donations you guys send in for that particular show, that'll be a long show. That'll be a show where a lot of people come on, where we're talking all kinds of shit. That'll probably be several hours long. And then all the donations that we make for that are going to go to the Abandoned Pet Project. What they do is they go to shelters and stuff like that where animals have been taken after they've been injured, hit by a car, and fights with other animals, that kind of thing, or just abandoned. And they take these animals from the shelter, they nurse them back to health and help rehome them instead of them being euthanized because people are dickheads and they went and got these companion animals during the pandemic and then just abandoned them on the side of the road once they didn't need them anymore. And that's something that's been happening all over the country.
That's pretty.
That is a douchebag thing to do, and they're trying to nurse the animals back to health and get them back out into loving homes. So yeah, we're going to be supporting the Abandoned Pet Project. So
That's pretty fucked up.
500 subscribers when we get there. We're doing that charity stream, so share it around. Have your friends come in and get us up to 500. And while they're getting us up to 500 for this charity stream, maybe they like talking about movies. Maybe they want to hang out. That's the goal. That's part of the goal anyway, is to get people to come into the channel, to come into movie fandom and talk about films and have fun. But yeah, it's been a crazy off season for football. I can't remember this much stuff, just chaos happening. I mean, and some of it's not been too weird. I mean, usually when you see a guy go from one team to another and go from like being an assistant coach to a head coach, he might take one or two players with him. But I mean, it's like Robert Salah has started taking one of the guys from the 49ers. He just took over the Jets last year after being a defensive coordinator for the Niners. The offensive coordinator for the Niners went and took the job in Miami as head coach. He's already pilfed, I think he's ganked like two guys from the Niners. I know he got Raheem Mostert, and I think somebody else, not to mention he signed another pretty big free agent. I forget who it was. But yeah, there's just been a lot of players moving around, especially quarterbacks. Quarterbacks have just gone all over the place this year. I think probably 10 teams have made quarterback changes, or are going to at some point by the time the draft comes around.
I know the Steelers got Mitch Trubisky, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they're still in the hunt possibly for Garoppolo.
I know the Dolphins just recently got Tyreek Hill, so. Although I think they gave up too much for him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, part of it I think was there might have been a reason that Kansas City didn't like him anymore. Maybe it was an injury thing. Maybe it was an attitude thing. Maybe because I think that next year was a contract year for him, right?
That I don't know. I wasn't sure about the Chiefs.
I don't know.
Or what his standing was with the Chiefs.
I'm thinking they were probably looking ahead and they were like, you know what? he's going to be here next year, but he's on a contract year, and maybe he's already talking about not wanting to re-sign. So maybe we go ahead and trade him now, get a couple of draft picks out of it, and we can go draft another, because I got a first rounder out of him. I mean, a first round wide receiver isn't going to be anybody to sneeze at. He's not going to be Pro Bowler in his first year probably, but when you've got somebody like Patrick Mahomes throwing to you, it's going to make you look pretty good. And 2 or 3 years down the line, if you've signed this guy to a long-term contract, he's going to be everything you wanted Tyreek Hill to be, and he might even be cheaper and won't be so pissed off about being there. So, I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe it makes sense for the Chiefs. I don't know. I mean, I personally would like to have kept Tyreek Hill if I were a Chiefs fan, but, the NFL is a crazy, crazy place. But the quarterback move is what blew me away. TSS says the Bakers might get Baker Mayfield if the Browns decide to honor his trade request. Well, look, I am in no way trading him in the division. There's no fucking way. And it's the same thing with the Niners. There's been this thought that the Niners might trade Garoppolo to Seattle. I'm like, there's no fucking way they're going to trade him there. No way at all. No way. I wouldn't. You don't ever trade a talent like that into your division. You give him a chance to beat you twice a year, maybe even 3 times if you both end up making the playoffs. That makes no sense to me. And on top of that, I don't know why Seattle would go after him anyway. I feel like if you're going to go after if you're Seattle, and you're going to go after either Garoppolo or Mayfield, Garoppolo I think he's better right now, but you're in a full rebuild in Seattle. Do you really think that Garoppolo is going to turn you from a 4-win team to a 12-win team and help you compete in the division? I mean, at best, he turns you from a 4-win team to a 7-win team that maybe wins 8 or 9 games and finishes a game above 500, or a half game, considering they play an extra week now compared to what they used to. But, I mean, I don't think Garoppolo makes them anything better than a 500 team. So my thinking is, if you're going to get either one of those guys, you get Mayfield. Mayfield's at least a little bit younger, and if you can put together a couple of good years for him in Seattle, you make him trade bait. I mean, because right now nobody wants him. Nobody's wanting to trade for him. But if he puts together a couple of good years in Seattle under Pete Carroll, get him a couple of decent receivers. They've got Lockett there. I think they still have Lockett, don't they? I think they still have Lockett.
I heard the Steelers were trying to get Baker Mayfield or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's what TSS was saying. The Steelers would consider signing Mayfield if the Browns released him. But I don't think they really want to trade for him because the Browns are going to want a number 1 pick. And if I'm the rest of the NFL, the teams that still might be interested in a quarterback, I'm not giving a first-round pick for Baker Mayfield. The market's not there. Why would you trade a first-round pick for him if you know that eventually they're just going to release him anyway? So draft day is going to be really interesting for Garoppolo and Mayfield, I think. Because I don't see Garoppolo and Mayfield going anywhere before draft day. That's something that's going to happen on April, I think, 28th. Yeah, I think it's 28th. Exactly a month from today. So
we got one more on the call there, Frank.
Sorry, I wasn't looking. Who do we got on the call now? It is Whiskey Walker. What's up?
It's well, I technically go by Peter Parker now, but
what's up, brother?
but hey, what's up? What's up, man?
Nothing, man. Just having some fun, some late night bullshit sessions since Drew's off selling cheese somewhere else around the country.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
You've had at least some good cheese or some of that stinky cheese that I had to eat.
You know what's funny is
a little bit of both.
I was watching the King's Man today, since me and Jennifer had kind of a night off since Drew didn't have his usual thing tonight. We were sitting here after dinner watching a movie. We watched that movie, The King's Man, and there's a scene towards the end of the movie where they're trying to take this mountaintop hideaway where the big bad guy is, and the girl is in a like rock hut. And what this hut is it's a cheese aging room. And so she's in there looking through this hole in the wall, and she's looking through the sniper scope, and she's talking to Dejimon Hansu's character about the plans to take this lift that goes up to the top of the mountain to go to the big building where the main bad guy is. And once they get into a gunfight, it's like she just kind of like ducks down, and like all these bullets are coming, and they're spraying cheese everywhere. And all I could think of was Drew. I was like, oh, Drew would hate this part of the movie. It's a fun movie, though.
I tell you one thing, that's the worst thing I ever ate in my life, for real.
That
So
cheese?
Casey, did J-Man pay you another visit today?
Oh, that's right. He's supposed to show up. No, he hasn't.
Better be looking over
He
your
didn't.
But anyway, Peter Parker, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. How are you all?
Just kicking it, man. Like I said, kind of a day off today. Went and did lunch with a friend of mine for his birthday. Big old thing of Golden Corral because that's where white people eat.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. Their dessert bar is still pretty good. The rest of their food's kind of average. But did that, came
Yeah.
home and hung out for a few hours, then went and took my kids out to Subway because for some reason or other I was like, what do you guys want for dinner? Thinking they were going to be like pizza or whatever, or something easy to cook. But they're like, no, I want Subway. I'm like, God, why Subway? But I'm like, whatever. As long as I don't have to cook anything, I'm okay.
The Subway sucks.
Yeah. And then came back here and cuddled up with Jennifer on the couch for a bit and watched that movie. Then she climbed into the bed to finish her night because she actually has to get up early in the morning to work and get her kid to school and all that. And I came out here to do this thing, man, to entertain the masses while Drew's hanging out wherever he's at, doing his work.
Yeah,
So
all 10 of us.
all 10 of us. Wah, 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 wah. Is that how the joke goes?
Yeah, all 10,000 of us. Excuse me.
Anyway, Peter, we're talking football. So, I mean, what's your favorite football team?
The Jets.
I'm trying to. I'm still working on that. Still working on it.
Well, there's plenty of room on the 49er bandwagon. So
God.
It's a much easier division next year, the NFC West. So
Oh my God. I remember the Packers and the 49ers when they were playing, and my aunt is a huge Packers fan, and she was just losing her shit. And my uncle, he kept on texting every time the 49ers get a touchdown. He's like, touchdown, and she was just getting so pissed. It was hilarious.
TSS says it's not that no one wants him in case the Browns won't trade him because even though they traded for Watson, they think he'll be suspended for this upcoming season. So then why trade for him? Because Baker doesn't want to be there. I mean, honestly, the way I see things going right now is they're going to get to OTAs, which are going to start here in, I think, 2 or 3 months. We're going to get to the OTAs, and Baker's just not going to be there. And honestly, if I were Baker, I wouldn't go either. You've made it very, very clear that you're moving off of me. Why should I give you another 5 minutes of my time? I've got to now, and maybe not even to be mean, maybe just to say, look, you've made your decision. You want to go another route with quarterback. That's just fine. But, I'll get to you in a second, Pure Country. But, and thank you for donating, by the way. But, at the same time, he's still young. He's still got his whole career ahead of him. He's only been in the league for 4 years. It's like he's got to start looking forward to what's next for him. So why would he hang out? Why wouldn't he say, you know what, I'm going to go talk to some of these other teams, see what they want to trade for me, talk to them about how they want to work things, what their philosophy is offensively, things like that. And if they can get it together and he can move on, great. But the bottom line is the Browns put themselves in this position. And if I were Baker, I wouldn't go anywhere near the facility until they gave me a trade. That's just me. Pure Country Viper tips $1.87. Thank you, sir. He said, screw Will Smith. Words should not be fought with words. A word should be fought with words, not violence. Such a shame. Nothing will come out of this. What's up to my champion, Casey is Raw. I'm excited for WrestleMania, baby. Give me a hell yeah, Casey.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
This is the Coco.
I can't wait. I think it'd be fun reporting for that. Not from there.
You know, I've thought about doing the same thing. I was actually right before the COVID closed everything down. I was actually thinking about getting tickets. They had a Raw taping, like 5 minutes up the road. There's this arena called the Nutter Center, and WWF is there at least a couple times a year. And that March they were supposed to have I think it was a Raw taping, either Raw or SmackDown, one of the two. And I was thinking about getting tickets to take my two boys. I was like, hey, we're just gonna go up there. I'll take some video. I'll send it over to Joe. I'll send it over to whoever wants to use it and talk about it. I was gonna try to get some good seats and then just kind of be a little on-site guy for the people in the wrestling community. But and then
You probably would have wanted to stab yourself in the dick by the time it was over.
you know, I don't. You see, here's the thing. I don't take this shit as seriously as you guys do. I just go there to be entertained. So
It's not entertaining. That's the problem.
I look. I know it's fake. So I just go there to watch these guys pretend to beat each other up. Now, would I rather go see a boxing match? Oh, absolutely. Would I rather go to UFC? Oh, maybe not, because I'm not a huge UFC fan. But if you gave me tickets, I'd go. But yeah, it's I don't know. I still enjoy going. The last time I went was God, when was it? Keegan just turned 18, so it was probably about 8 years ago when my oldest son just turned 18 yesterday. And I think when he was about 10 years old, I took him to go see, I forget what it was. I think it was a SmackDown taping at the Nutter Center. And I was right off the floor, just up onto the arena. Those are the seats that I got. And it was a fun show. I mean, Lesnar was there, a couple other people. I don't remember exactly who was there. But, yeah, I mean, it was fun to go. It was fun just to go and watch. But,
yeah, it is. Usually, when you go to the event, it's a lot more fun than watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Going to any sporting event is more fun live. It's more fun to see in person.
Yes.
When I go to, I haven't been to a baseball game in a couple of years. When I go to baseball games, I'll sit down before first pitch and I will not move till the game is over. I just won't. I'll buy a drink or two while I'm sitting there. Maybe I'll send somebody else to get hot dogs. But it's like I won't move. I want to see everything, even the stuff that happens between innings. I want to see it all. I want to take it all in. I mean, because you're paying so much to get into a sporting event these days. Even if it's something like wrestling, the tickets are starting to get a little pricey. You're paying so much. Why would you willingly miss any of it? You know what I mean?
That's true. Well, I mean, if you're a house show, they have a intermission. But by the time intermission hits, everyone runs to the concession stand, so it's kind of like you either hope someone's going to come down with like food, so you can yell them to get it, or you have to send someone to go get it if you don't want to move.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I take my girlfriend with me to sporting events. She knows enough about sports where she's not annoying, but I could give her $20. Say, hey, give me a hot dog and a beer, will you?
What if you're really busting for a piss and you really have to go? You won't get up. You'll just like sit there and piss your pants.
I make sure I go take a piss before I hit my seat. Now, if I have to piss, then I'll go. But for the most part, I just don't leave my seat. The one time that was a big difference is I went to watch the Giants play in Cincinnati, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was brutal hot.
Really?
Yeah, it was brutal in Cincinnati. I went down to Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati to watch San Francisco Giants, my hometown team, play, and it was, I think it was 101 at game time. It was brutal hot, and I took all 3 of my kids. I think it was before Jennifer and I started dating, because I don't think I've been to a baseball game since Jennifer and I started dating, but. Yeah, it was just me and my kids, and it was brutal hot. It's like I took my hat and put it on my daughter's head to try to help shield her from it a little bit. It was just vicious hot. And it was so hot that they had those big fans that blow like the mist water and everything. They had those all over the stadium. And they had like a little play area for the kids, and like they had 2 of these just blowing on that play area. So I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and go walk up there. And my kids at the time were still a little young, so it's like they were fine to go play and not watch the game. Now my kids are a little bit older. They're like, no, I want to watch the game. I don't want to fuck with that bullshit. But yeah, they went up there, were playing on that thing with the thing spraying the misty, cool water on them, and I was just kind of like watching them and turning over and watching the game and watching them and back to the game and watching them to make sure they didn't get kidnapped. But yeah, but anyway, any thoughts on, before I move on to the other thing I wanted to talk about, any thoughts on just the craziness that has been the NFL free agency?
I'm looking to see I'm interested to see what other moves get made, and it's been pretty crazy. It's been a big fucking year. Like, a lot of teams have already made so many moves, and and then, like you said, the draft didn't even get here yet. So who's going to get drafted and whatnot? You got all that yet on the table too?
Yeah, I think
it's bullshit that the worst team gets the number 1 pick. You figure maybe like the Super Bowl team should get the number 1 pick. I mean, that's the
why.
I mean, the winner.
The whole idea behind it is that you help even out the league.
Yeah, but I mean, sure.
Because if the Super Bowl winner gets to pick all the best players, and you're gonna have the same team win the Super Bowl every year, and that's not gonna be any fun.
Well, I think the salary cap kind of helps with that though too, and then you have.
Well, it doesn't. Do they have a hard cap in football or a soft cap? I don't even remember. I think they do have a hard cap.
There is a hard cap. But, I mean,
Thanks
if
for hanging
that's
out,
really
JSP.
true,
Appreciate it, brother. We'll catch you later. JSP's
then
even
what
checking out the chat.
then what about teams like the Lions never get a good season? Or like the
Because the Lions are a
Browns
poorly
or...
run team. The Lions can't do it because they're a poorly run team. The NFL can expose executives for being shitty football people really, really quickly, and the NFL, the Lions particularly, have been a bad run team for a long time. You know, I mean, you honestly, you don't have to. Every team has had a period where the people that run things, the people that sign the checks, have just not done well. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cowboys. This is my knock on the Cowboys. Jerry Jones is becoming Al Davis. That's what I've been thinking for the last couple of years. Because Al Davis, for years, he was the brains behind the NFL. He's been there since the merger. He was at the cutting edge of everything football for 2 decades. But once you get into the 90s, the game started to evolve past his way of thinking. But he kept thinking that I'm smarter than the game. And that's one of the reasons why the Raiders have not been very good for a long time.
Well, yeah, Jerry Jones, especially when they took over that GM spot, I was like he needed to give up that GM spot, and not only that, not only the GM have some power, but let the freaking coaches have some power. It's just ridiculous.
I saw something. The Cowboys-Niners playoff game this year. I saw something that I kind of was like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah, somebody mute or turn the stream down or something, please. But they cut away to Jerry Jones. You know how that comes up with that graphic, the bottom third that says Jerry Jones, owner, Dallas Cowboys. It said Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys, owner, GM, CEO, vice president, head janitor, head line cook, head ass wiper. I mean, it's like, dude, stop. Look, football men need to run football operations. This is where I go back to the Niners for a lot on this. The Niners in the 80s. Eddie DeBartolo knew a lot about football, but he hired football people to make football decisions. And he was in the room and had a word in it, but ultimately it was the football decisions that were the best football decisions that were made. That's why you were able to build a team with guys like Montana and Rice, 2 of the greatest that ever played their position. Roger Craig and a couple other great running backs, a lot of great defenders. You had Ronnie Lott, you had guys like Keena Turner and stuff like that. Great offensive line with guys like Randy Cross, Jesse Sapolu, guys like that. That's how they were able to put that team together. Then you go look at the Lions. The Lions have not done well. They've not had smart football people making decisions. They just haven't. And
no.
And it's the same. And that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with Dallas. I think that Jerry Jones is turning into what Al Davis was. He thinks I'm smarter than the rest of the league, when in reality the league's just going past him. So I tell you what, the Bengals had the same problem until what finally happened is that guy Mike Brown that owns the Bengals. He started to bring in some. He did all the scouting, he did all the drafting, he did it all. But he finally brought in a scouting department, and he finally started to listen to other people who were football smart people. The owner needs to do one thing: sign checks. Sign checks and write them to the people that go and buy the football players that you need to do what you got to do. That's all I want a pro sports owner to do, is sign the checks. That's the most successful sports teams in history. That's what the owners did. Look at Jerry Steinbrenner and the Yankees. The Yankees have won a bajillion World Series titles. But he also had guys like Brian Cashman. He's had guys like that around a lot. Now Steinbrenner himself was really baseball smart, but he also had smart GMs that helped him put teams together. That's why the Yankees have been so successful over the course of the last 50, 60 years.
And they still have Cashman, and look at how they've been doing lately.
But who do they not have, though? They don't have George.
Well, yeah. Hal certainly don't fucking care much.
Hal is no George. He is not his dad at all. But, I mean, that's my take on it, is that if you want to be a successful sports franchise, especially in the NFL, the owners have got to let football people make football decisions. And like the Lions, they've not done that very well. They just have not done it. You've got to put together a scouting staff and a coaching staff and a GM that want to concentrate on the football stuff and let other people, like Matt Millen was the CEO of the Lions for several years. A football player, great football player in his own right. I believe he's in the Hall of Fame. If not, I think he probably should be. A great football player, knew a lot about football, but they made him CEO of the Lions. He wasn't CEO of football operations. He was CEO of the entire company. So while you'd think that he had a hand in on who to draft, who to sign, contract negotiations with players, things like that, he was dealing with like FMLA. He was dealing with all the stuff that goes on in the business stuff. He was dealing with all the administrative crap. That wasn't what he needed to be occupying his time with. If you wanted to make him head of football operations and then hire somebody else to do all that administrative bullshit, I think the Lions probably wouldn't have been as bad. I'm not saying they would have won a bunch of Super Bowls. I'm saying that maybe if he would have been able to concentrate just on the football stuff, that maybe the Lions wouldn't have been as bad as they've been for the last 15, 20 years.
Oh, dude, it's been longer than that. I mean, shit.
It's been a long, long time. That's all I know.
I mean, even since the time I started watching with Barry Sanders playing, he was the only thing good that came out of Detroit. And by the way, he came from OSU, the Oklahoma version, not Ohio, by the way. But, I mean, Barry Sanders was the only good thing that came out of Detroit.
Yeah, they wasted him. They totally wasted him. That's what I think.
Well, he retired so early, though.
Yeah, I don't know why he retired as early as he did. I don't think he's ever really given a definitive answer, but, whatever.
Maybe he couldn't get out of the contract or something.
Did we lose Peter? I hope we didn't chase Peter off. I kind of went on a diatribe about what makes a bad sports team.
Yeah, he left a few minutes ago.
Oh, sorry, Peter. Hope I didn't chase you away or anything, buddy. I just kind of I take my sports seriously.
So Frank, the Dolphins actually have to play the Niners next season.
Okay.
I was thinking, I don't know what week it is, but I was thinking maybe we could go live and watch the game and talk shit.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. I don't really want to do what Sir Cardinal does because he's way better at it than I would be. And I don't know. We'll see. Oh, a lot of it would depend on what day it is. If it's like a Monday game, maybe that's doable. If it's a Sunday game, we'd probably be on Derailed anyway. So, I don't know. Might. We'll have to see what happens when the actual schedules get released. I think all they've released so far is the matchups. I don't think they've released the days.
I don't think so yet either, no.
But, there's our NFL talk for the stream. Thank you guys for listening to my diatribe about what makes bad NFL teams. Hey, Cora, how you doing? My co-host Cora's in the chat. What's going on? Cora, the Discord's open if you want to pop in and say hi. It's just me, Casey, and the Rose right now talking shit. We had Peter Parker in here a little bit ago, but I think I chased him off. I didn't mean to do that. So, Peter, if you're still watching, hey, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. But we'll move on from the football talk now. We'll go on to this day in history. Also, go in the chat. Let me know what you guys think of the new setup. I kind of like it. It's more film-oriented, a little more colorful, blue. I like the lighter colors. Rachel said it looks a little busy. I
like it. I like it for the theme. I like it for the theme of your channel.
Yeah, that's what I wanted, was something a little more movie themed. I don't know. I'll toy with it a little bit, see what I got. But we'll go on to this day in history. The film and television.
Casey got fucked in the butt on this day in history.
Yeah. It was today. It was today. Let's see. What went on this day in history? Ooh, this day in 1971, the last original edition of the Ed Sullivan Show was broadcast on CBS.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
Long before my time.
Yeah. A little before me. Not so long before me, a little before me. This date in 1977 at the 49th Academy Awards. Since we just had the Academy Awards today, I think this is fitting. At the 49th Academy Awards, Rocky, Peter Finch, and Faye Dunaway were the big winners at the Oscars that year in 1977. Rocky, a fantastic movie. Let's see what else we got for this. Film history.
Oh, Rocky 1 wasn't my favorite, though. I mean,
Rocky 1 was so good.
It's good, but I prefer 4. And then I would say probably 3, 2, and then 1. Then I would say
like them in the reverse order.
Pretty much. And then I'll put Rocky Balboa.
What about Rocky 5?
Oh, Rocky 5 is horrible.
Cora's here, by the way. What's going on, Cora?
In the Discord? Did she pop in the Discord? Cora!
Yep.
Hello.
What's up?
Not much.
You're here just in time for some On This Day in entertainment history.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. On this day in 1985, Neil Simon's play Biloxi Blues premiered in New York. That ended up being turned into a movie with Matthew Broderick. Actually, a pretty funny movie. You know, Matthew Broderick was in the play as well, and another guy who was in that play was the guy who played his friend in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's actually where they met, was doing that play in New York.
Oh, very cool.
This day in 1995. Oh, sad day. Julia Roberts and Lyle Lovett split up. Oh.
That's the year I started high school.
That was the year before I graduated high school.
Hey, we were in high school the same time for a year. Fucking
Nice. Cool. Here's something for you wrestling fans. On this date in 1999, WrestleMania 15, First Union Center, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Stone Cold Steve Austin beat The Rock in a no disqualification match for the WWF Heavyweight title.
I remember. I think I watched
that match was
fucking.
That fucking match was awesome.
Let's see.
I'm wondering.
Also, wrestling news. In 2010, on this date, WrestleMania XXV, Jesus Christ, 26. At the University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, Chris Jericho defeats The Edge, and John Cena beat Batista, while The Undertaker beat Shawn Michaels.
XXV, that'd be 25.
Yeah, 26.
Oh, was it?
XXVI.
Oh, XXV. Oh, okay. Yeah, 26. Okay.
Sorry, I don't know. I couldn't process the Roman numerals in my head that fast. It's like, I know my Roman numerals, I just couldn't process them that fast. But yeah, so there's some film and entertainment stuff that went on today. Let's go into some sports stuff that happened on this day. What have we got here? Let's see. Can we go back to the 1800s? What do we got? Yeah, that's some rowing from the 1800s. That was the only sport they had back in the 1800s. Let's see. 1922 for you hockey fans. Stanley Cup final, Mutual Street Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Toronto St. Patrick's beat the Vancouver Millionaires of the PCHA 5-1 for a 3-2 series win. That back in 1922. I remember it fondly. Let's see. In 1933, the first SEC men's basketball tournament. Kentucky beat Mississippi State 46-27. Boy, that was a high-scoring affair. Let's see. Moving on up a couple of decades. See, the first national curling championship was held on this date in 1957 for all of you curling fans.
Hey, curling is fun to watch. Let me tell you.
No bullshit.
I love watching.
I watch curling for the Winter Olympics all the fucking time. And this year was really cool because it was like there were these. I was watching the women's curling one night. It was like 2 a.m. I got home late from work and I was just trying to unwind. And it's like as seriously as they take it, as focused as they are, I was like, damn, this is a sport that I might try one of these days. I just want to give it a go. Because it looks like it's kind of silly. You're just sliding a rock across the ice. But it's so specific. I feel like I want to try it.
There's so much to it. Yeah.
I feel like I want to try it. Let's see. Some football news. In 1963, on this date, the AFL's New York Titans became the New York Jets. For all of you Jets fans out there, there's probably 2 or 3 of you left. Let's see. On this date in 1972, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain played his last professional basketball game.
That's actually something notable right there.
Let's see.
Yep. Isn't he the guy who was like, he didn't do commentary, but he was really well known after he retired too?
Well, I mean, he was huge when he was playing. After he retired, yeah, he kept a public calendar after he retired.
Yeah, I think so.
There's actually a really famous picture of him riding a roller coaster. You guys have probably seen it already. Because when you Google Wilt Chamberlain, this is one of the pictures that comes up. He's actually riding the Giant Dipper, which is in my hometown of Santa Cruz, California.
Oh.
Let's see. In 1975, on this date, the NHL's Washington Capitals won their first game on the road after 37 straight road losses.
Damn.
Nice.
That's a lot of losses.
Way to get that first dub. Way to get that first dub in a long time. Let's see. Go check out the chat, see what some of you guys are saying. Let's see. TSS says he hasn't been to a baseball game since 2015. You know what? I haven't been in a couple of years. Honestly,
I haven't been to one since 2013 when the Yankees lost to the Red Sox.
When did I go to the last game? It was probably it may have been 2018. I didn't go in 2019 because I had a busy summer. And I didn't want to spend the money on tickets to go see the Giants. And then 2020 obviously was completely destroyed by COVID. And last year I didn't go because I was pissed at the Giants, so I just didn't go to any baseball games. So yeah, it's probably been 2018. Corey jumping in says hi. TSS saying hi. Frederico, what's going on, my man? Frederico likes the new setup for the streams. So The only person who
What's the difference?
The only person who has any qualms with it right now is Rachel, and she's got interesting qualms. She said it looked a little busy, and I get it. So I'm going to toy with it a little bit. I kind of like this setup. I want it to be film themed, but I'll toy with it a little bit as time goes on. I understand what she's saying. I get it because it being a little. Can
I make a suggestion to make it less busy?
Absolutely.
Make the picture in the background black and white.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe a darker.
So if everything's black and white,
maybe a darker black background image would look better.
Not purple, but black and white, but leaving the picture itself.
I like the blue though. I think the blue is more inviting than the usual like dark background.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I'll toy with it. I'll figure it out. Let's see. This date in 1981, Martina Navratilova beat 16-year-old American tennis prodigy Andrea Jaeger 6-3, 7-6 in the final of the WTA Tour Championships at Madison Square Garden. For all you tennis fans out there, let's see. Going back to this date in 1982, the first NCAA Women's Basketball Championship was held. Louisiana Tech beat Cheney 76-62. Lady Treasures forward Janice Lawrence was the tournament most MOP. I don't know what MOP is. Most overused player? I don't know what MOP means. What is,
no idea.
I wonder if that's a typo. It's supposed to say MVP.
Maybe.
Probably.
I don't know what MOP is. Anyway,
that would be a bit of a
yeah, she was the tournament mop. Congratulations.
Casey just said no to Frankie goes. Casey goes most overweight player.
Ooh, that's mean.
Most overrated player.
Let's see. In 1989, on this date, New Zealand won America's Cup over the Stars and Stripes in a New York court. I don't know what that means. The America's Cup, I think, is the sailing championship. I don't know. In 1990, Bengal beat Delhi in a rained-out cricket. Ranji Trophy final on Quotient. I know absolutely nothing about cricket. TSS2 chat says Wilt Chamberlain was known later in his career for having a feud with Kareem. That's true. And claiming during his career that he had slept with over 10,000 women, which I'm pretty sure has been confirmed.
What? Are you serious?
You've never heard those stories?
No, I have not.
He wrote an autobiography in the, I think it was either late 70s or early 80s, many, many years ago, where he claimed to have slept with 10,000 women over the course of his life. It was just like every time he went on the road, different girl every night, and some women
it had to be more than one girl a night.
I don't think he named anybody, but some women came forward, like a large number of women were like, "Yeah, I remember fucking with him when he was in New York that day or whatever." Yeah, that's again, 10,000 women haven't come forward to admit it, but it's like a lot of women came forward, so it's kind of like, well. Again, not confirmed, but it's a story that's been out there for most of my life, for all of my life anyway.
I mean, like your number is 9,532. That's your number.
I wish.
And what's your number, Casey?
-2.
9,500.
I knew he was going to take the bait and make it a big one. I
knew it. -2.
Casey's probably not even.
I would not say anything, Rose Gaming, if I were you. Just some advice. Just like I'm not going to say anything about myself because I can't compete with that. But
I wouldn't want to compete with that.
What do they talk about in the movies? The rule of 3. It's like whenever you ask a woman how many people she slept with, they always subtract 3. Whenever you ask a man, they always add 3.
Wow.
So whatever Cora's number is, add 3. Hey, I didn't make up the rules. I'm just going by them. That's all.
Right. I'll take the heat. I stepped into the kitchen. I opened the door, joking about Casey. But yeah, I'm not saying a number. But if I did say a number, it would be honest.
Also on this date in 1990, Michael Jordan scored 69 points. 69, dudes. Fourth time he scores 60 points in a game at that point in his career. Let's see. In 1990, U.S. President George H.W. Bush posthumously awarded Jesse Owens the Congressional Gold Medal. Good thing.
Who?
Who do you not know? Which one of those names did you not know, Casey?
I think he doesn't know who Jesse Owens is.
I don't know who either one of them are. Okay, this is what I want you to do for next Sunday. I want you to put together a report on Jesse Owens.
No, he's banned from the show on Sunday.
No, he's not. He won the poll.
I tell you what, I'll talk it over with Drew over the course of the week. But
I'm the one who's not coming back for the month of April because I lost the poll.
One of your punishments, Casey, is going to be put together a 2-page report on Jesse Owens. You can do it in Google Documents, and you can share the link to everybody in the chat for them to read it. I want you to put together a 2-page report on Jesse Owens.
He ain't gonna do that.
I know he won't.
It'll take away from his video game time.
He'll get 4 words into it, then be like, "Guys, I can't do this anymore. I gotta tap out."
I'll call Bullfrog, ask him to write it for him.
Does Bullfrog know how to read? I don't know. Let's see.
I could put it in my guy's Wikipedia page.
He'll just copy and paste the whole thing.
MOP means most outstanding player.
That makes.
I was like,
what's the difference? What's between that and an MVP?
I don't know why they changed the name. Because I'm looking at
the same thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on this date in 1999, the 18th NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. Purdue beat Duke 62-45. The Boilermakers' Ukari Figs is named Most Outstanding Player. Congratulations to you, Ukari Figs, for winning Most Outstanding Player and having one of the weirdest names I've ever heard.
Frank, you're definitely the mop of the rail.
I'm the mop. Motherfucker, I am the mop.
Can you mute the stream for 1 second? Just for 1 second.
Give me 1 second. I can. Okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Well.
Speaking of derailed, man, Drew's a bastard. He was in his chat for both of his strike sessions, and he's not even here hanging out in your chat, Frank.
That's all right.
He's traveling.
Well, he told me he usually watches my streams after the fact. He doesn't always get a chance to jump in when we're live. He tries to watch them after the fact. So I mean, that's cool. Whatever.
Well, I saw in his chat earlier. He said he was 8 hoes away. So
I don't get a chance to watch all his streams either. A lot of the strike sessions, I watch like bits and pieces of them, and I just don't have time. But let's see, going into some more. What am I looking at now? Today's events in sports history. It's technically the 28th now, so that's what they're doing. Let's see. Did I go through all these already? Old Chamberlain? Yeah, I did all these already. So what was I go? Let's go to like history and not film or sports. Let's see. On this date, Casey, I want you to write a report on this one too. 37 in 37. AD, Roman Emperor Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, better known as Caligula, which means little soldier's boots, accepts the titles of the Principate entitled to him by the Senate. Casey's like, what?
Remember high school, Casey?
No, he doesn't. He was too busy playing Game Boy.
After I got done with high school, it's like, I don't need to remember any of this bullshit.
And here you are on a podcast, somebody asking you about Caligula, and you're like, nah, I don't know. You should have paid attention to history class, man. Let's see. On this date, in 1881, the greatest show on earth was formed by P.T. Barnum and James Anthony Bailey, for those of you who have seen Barnum and Bailey's Circus. Barnum and Bailey's Circus shut its doors just, 3 years ago, Cora? Something like that?
Yeah, in the last 5 years, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah,
I think they had a lot of international success beyond the U.S. in the last 50 years, and I think it just was waning.
You know what's crazy? There's a really old game from P.T. Barnum.
Oh.
I should review that.
That would be cool.
I didn't realize that. Let's see. On this date in 1885, the U.S. Salvation Army was officially organized. Salvation Army, ever since then, has helped out
Fuck you for
people.
ruining my shopping experiences around the holidays. By the way, I fucking hate the bell ringers. I avoid them like the plague. I put my hand over my eyes. I put AirPods in. Drives me. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. I'm telling you, fucking hate it.
What?
Salvation Army bell ringers.
Oh yeah.
Every year, they're outside fucking Walmart and Target and shit. You can't even go to the fucking store without ding, 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 going in and out. I'm like, oh god.
I feel the same way sometimes when I watch Jennifer and her daughter do the cookie booths for
They're
Girl
not ringing
Scouts.
bells.
it's like I can't walk by them without feeling guilty for not buying something. I want to look at these. I want to look at these girls sometimes and be like, look, it's not that I don't want to support you. It's not that I don't support you. But I've got 700 boxes of cookies in my fucking living room. I don't want to buy one more from you. I know. Like on the other side of my desk right now, there are 2 cases of random cookies that I'm stuck with.
Wow.
So,
Oh,
what kind are they? Maybe I'll buy some from
and they're not
you.
even the
What
good
kind
ones.
are they?
They're not even the good ones. They're those peanut butter peanut butter chocolate ones. I forget what they're called. But it's like I had 2 boxes. I had 2 boxes of the 2 packs of the lemon ones, which aren't bad, and a bunch of the tag-alongs, the ones that taste like the Nutter Butters. Those are the only ones I ever really eat anymore.
I was gonna say if you had Thin Mints left over, I would have bought those.
Never.
I buy your Thin Mints.
Thin Mints, Samoas, and those other cookies they came out with this year, the Adventurefuls. Gone.
Mm-hmm.
The moment they drop a booth somewhere, those things are gone.
Wow.
well, Frank,
The
just
Adventurefuls
send me
are really,
the
really good.
leftovers. Just send me the leftovers.
There are no leftovers. It's like they're the crappy ones if you want them. Hey, $3 a box, they're yours, kid.
Casey, you're not listening.
$3 a box.
$3 a box for fucking $5 a box in Jersey. What the fuck?
They're $5 a box here, but I paid for them, so I just got to get rid of them. I'll take a small hit to get rid of them. Let's see. Some of the other stuff in history. Oh, at this date in 1922, the first microfilm device was introduced. Do you guys even remember microfilm? Corey,
I
you
do.
might. Yeah.
I do.
I don't think the rest of you guys are old enough to remember microfilm.
Yeah. My grandpa toyed around with it in his dark room.
I remember when I was in junior high, we had a microfilm thing in the library, and I would go there to like find reports and shit. It was the craziest thing because you would go there, and it's exactly like it sounds. It's a really small piece of film. It's about yay wide, and they're come in rolls, and they have like basically what are X-rays of old articles or pictures or whatever you wanted to put on them.
You put it in a machine like a TV screen, and it just magnifies it.
And you would put them in there, and then there was this giant screen in front of you that magnified the whole thing, and you would roll through it on a spool. And if you wanted to like copy something, there was like a button you could hit, and it would basically shoot it would shoot some light down to a photo, like basically like a
photocopier
photocopy of it. Yeah, but it was like a picture, and it would shoot light through that thing down to the photo. And make a photo image of that thing, and that's what
it took forever to get through like a whole thing to get to one article.
Oh,
like I remember doing research on a paper using microfilm on a machine like that, trying to find something for this one fucking paper to verify a quote. Yeah.
I assume they don't really use those no more.
No.
Well, now you have the internet. Now you have the internet. You don't need to use those anymore.
That's
it's like imagining a giant Wikipedia page, and you couldn't just like zoom down by buttons of topics. You just scroll through. It would take 20-30 minutes to. Yeah.
And it's not even on the right page. It's like, oh, I gotta look on the next page.
You guys got to keep going and going and going. Especially with newspaper articles, it would be by date. And each newspaper, anyways, the point is it's a pain in the ass. I remember it. I remember the card catalog with the drawers and the cards.
Yeah.
All of it. I know how to navigate a library by the codes.
I still remember the Dewey Decimal System.
Same here. I got it in my head.
I remember how to use it. I didn't memorize any of that shit. I know how to use it still. Because for most part, libraries still kind of use it, but instead of having those big cases of the cards, now it's just like in the local library here, you go in there, type in a book, and it gives you like the Dewey Decimal number, and then you just write it down on a piece of scrap paper, and then you go find it. You don't have to actually pull the card anymore.
I missed the cards though. I remember that.
Yeah, there is something about the old way of doing things. It's a little more romantic.
Yes, that's exactly well put. Thank you.
Let's see. Oh, this date in 1960, Scotch whiskey factory explodes, burying 20 firefighters in Glasgow, Scotland. Let's say a moment for all the firefighters and the Scotch whiskey that was lost that day.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, how much with the Scotch do they lose? That's the more important
If
thing.
it's one shot, it doesn't matter.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Casey.
At least it wasn't peanut butter whiskey. Drew would be upset if it was.
Oh,
that's right. I knew I'd get it right.
They were making ridiculous alcohol back then, like peanut butter whiskey.
Hey,
This was whiskey.
Let's see. On this date in 1964, this is kind of interesting. On this date in 1964, the first pirate radio station started near England. It was Radio Caroline.
Nice.
We Caroline.
Not exactly, but you know. This date in 1970, 1,086 people died when a 7.4 earthquake destroyed 254 villages in Gediz, Turkey.
Wow.
I've lived through
bueno.
earthquakes, man. That stuff's no bullshit. Go look at the Lower Prieta quake.
I'm from Oregon. I've experienced earthquakes, so I know all about it.
If you want to get an idea, go look at the Lower Prieta earthquake. I was in California for that shit. I was, I think, 13 when that shit went down. Ooh, crazy, crazy times. It's on this day. Interesting. On this date in 1979, a partial meltdown at 3 Mile Island nuclear plant in the United States resulted in the release of radioactive gas and iodine into the atmosphere, but no deaths. Wow.
3 Mile Island, man, that was some scary shit.
Definitely. I was 3 years old when that popped off. But yeah, it's crazy.
I remember studying it in high school.
Where was that located?
3 Mile Island is in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're in the U.S.
Yeah.
I wasn't born then, thankfully, so.
I was 3. So, on this date in 1981, France performed their first nuclear test. Let's see. On this date in 1985, STS-51D vehicle was moved to the launch pad. That is a space shuttle, son. I don't remember which one that is, though. 85. I don't remember which one that was. I don't know what SDS-51 was. I'd have to Google that to look it up. Let's see.
I don't know.
1987, the stacking of Discovery's SRBs gets underway. Those are the solid rocket boosters, the white rockets that are on the side of the space shuttle when it would take off. Let's see. What's going on? We're into the 90s now. What do we got going on here? Italy's right wing under Berlusconi wins election. Let's see what else we got going on. 2003, a friendly fire incident. 2 U.S. A-10 Thunderbolt 2s from the 190th Fighter Squadron attacked British tanks participating in the invasion of Iraq, killing a British soldier named Matty Hull. Unfortunate. Let's see. This date in 2009, the first case of H1N1 swine flu in the United States occurred in 2 people in California.
Yep. As somebody who was in Oregon, when that came out, I was like, shit, is that about to, like, come here?
I had swine flu. That shit sucked.
Yeah.
That was like flu on steroids. That was probably one of the sickest days I ever had in my life. Was that swine flu? It was wild because my late wife, she got it from, I think, a friend of her from work, and I was like, caught it from her. So we went to the hospital, and that's when she found out she was pregnant, but shortly after, she lost the baby.
I'm so sorry.
Bummer.
Yeah. But that's how I remember that.
Yeah.
Moving on from that sad-ass shit. Ironically enough, on this day in 2014, Russia increased the price of gas to the Ukraine by 80%.
Oh.
Let's see.
And is that what they're fighting about 8 years later?
I don't
Who even knows at this
point?
Let's see. Wow, in 2018, at least 68 people die and scores are injured in a fire caused by a prison riot in the cells at the Carabobo State Police Headquarters in Valencia, Venezuela.
It's a lot of names of places I don't even know.
Let's see. In 2019, study of a 71-year-old British woman who has never felt pain for the first time understood as due to a gene mutation published in Britain's Journal of Anesthesia.
Interesting.
What did she finally learn what pain felt like?
Her body. It was her body didn't let her feel pain.
That's actually it's an actual medical.
So it was an abnormality in her development somehow.
Yeah, that's an actual health thing. There are some people out there that there's some neurological or something they can't feel pain. There was an you know that show House, the medical show House.
Yeah.
Never saw it, but I've heard of it.
There was an episode on there where this girl can't feel. There was a teenage girl that can't feel pain, and but she had something going on, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And then finally, once House realizes what it is, he realizes that this girl had like a 20-foot long tapeworm in her stomach.
What?
But because she doesn't feel pain, she didn't feel the effects of that tapeworm.
Why would why would anybody want that on a TV show? That's fucking gross.
Well, I mean, it's a mental crazy TV show. I mean, why would
I'm just saying that's a no, never gonna watch that show now.
Oh no, it was actually a really wild episode.
Wow. I recommend watch House. House is awesome.
I don't think so now.
I think Cora's just been turned off completely.
That show is actually really awesome.
I have so much. It's hard for me to keep up with the stuff to watch for Frank's channel. I don't have time to watch anything else. So
let's see.
Darn.
I mean, House is totally different than watching ER or Chicago Hope.
I think House
I don't watch any of that. I watch Downton Abbey.
Definitely better than that.
What? You do not know. Can I kick you off the call?
There's got to be a button on there somewhere.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Let's see what's going on here. We'll go to music real quick before we start to wrap this thing up. Let's see. Anything important? Oh, it was on this date in 1972 that Elvis Presley recorded his final top 10 hit, a cover of Burning Love, written by Dennis Lindy and first recorded by Arthur Alexander. Wow, kind of a week on this day for music. Let's see. In 1974, the rock group the Raspberries broke up. On this date, 1979, Frank Lazarus and Dick Vosberg's stage musical comedy A Day in Hollywood, A Night in Ukraine premieres at the Mayfair Theatre in London. Never heard of it, but it's funny that Ukraine stuff keeps popping up.
Yep.
It is weird.
You can actually break it down by genre. Let's go to pop music and see what that says. They have two things on here. On this date in 1926, Melody Maker, British popular music magazine, published its first issue. I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist anymore. On this day in 1939, Beer Barrel Polka by Will Glay hits #1 on the pop singles chart. So if you were kicking it in 1939, listening to the rockin' radio, you were jamming to Beer Barrel Polka. That's your favorite song, isn't it, Casey?
How do you know?
It's gotta be.
Oh, we figured you out, man.
Let's see.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with polka, though. I mean, it's a good type of music. It's not my thing, but I can see why people like it.
Okay.
Let's see. People, let's go to... let's see. All days, what is this? What are we over? Technically on the 28th. And this is March. So we'll go see. We'll look at people. Nothing important. Nothing good. Birthdays on this date. Let's go look at birthdays.
Oh, now you're going to steal my segment. Fuck your birthday?
Fuck your birthday. I'm trying to find a name that matters. I mean, I'm sure all these names mattered because they're in here, but it's like I'm still in like the 1800s. Let's see.
What about people's deaths?
What?
Jimmy Run.
Well, Casey's definitely interested in people dying.
He is.
Yes.
Well, he is the community angel of
Killer?
darkness.
He's the community
Death
killer.
Or whatever.
Let's see. I'm into the
Well,
1900s. Trying to find a name that somebody will recognize. There's plenty of names. Trying to find a name that somebody will recognize. Let's see.
Well, Frank, I'm going to take off and go to
I
sleep.
knew it! I knew it!
You're such a quitter.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I am a quitter. I'm just tired. I'm sleepy. I slept all day.
Why are you tired?
I was gonna say you're tired because you slept all day. Well, where does that make sense?
Well, I
It's
need more
okay. We
sleep.
love him anyways. We love him anyways.
Oh,
We do. He
I'm
was being our
talking-
ass.
I mean, that's what I do. I mean, that's what I get paid for.
What?
I mean, just being people pain in their ass. If I don't do that, I don't get paid.
Who's paying you to be a pain in the ass? Because I want to tell him to
I know,
fucking
right?
stop.
Stop paying me on that check, son.
I can't tell you that. If I did, then they stop paying me.
Well, I'm gonna
Gee, I
fucking
wonder-
find out. I'm a good at finding shit out. So get ready for those checks to stop.
Let's see.
Or PayPal payments, however he's getting it.
Oh, I'll figure it out.
Hey guys.
I'll make some calls.
Night, Casey, you bum.
Later, buddy.
Love you, Casey. Thanks for being there. Thanks for calling in again that last time on Derailed, because now I can't be on the show all of April.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
And on top of that, they voted for Casey over you too.
Exactly.
Just to slap you in the face on top of that.
It's okay. I don't mind it. I'll be back in May. You can live without me for April.
On this date in 1944, Rick Barry, the basketball player, was born in Elizabeth, New Jersey. He is the logo of the NBA, his crossover.
Cool.
You don't know. Let's
I
see.
did not, but that's really cool to learn.
Although I have to admit, Elizabeth, New Jersey is a shithole.
There's a terrible movie made about it.
Elizabethtown.
Yes.
Let's see. Getting into the 50s here. Probably some... Oh, Reba McEntire was born on this date in 1955. Happy birthday, Reba.
Yes.
So she's what, 67 now?
Oh, 167, something like that, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Jesus.
Anybody can look good when you've had that much plastic surgery. Here's one for you wrestling fans. On this day in 1958, Kurt Hennig.
Lots of hair dye, too.
Kurt Hennig
That's
was born
perfect.
in Robindale, Minnesota.
Wow.
He passed away in 2003, unfortunately. Let's see.
And-
Getting into some people we might actually know now. Oh, wow, there's 2 pages of this shit. Steve Turner, the guitarist for Mudhoney, was born today in Houston, Texas. On this date in Houston, Texas. Let's see. Craig Paquette. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame. He was infielder for the Royals back in the day. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame. Brett Ratner, American film director, was born in Miami on this date.
That name sounds very familiar.
He's persona non grata right now in Hollywood. He there was some I think he got wrapped up in some of the Me Too stuff.
Okay. Gotcha.
Let's see, Vince Vaughn was born on this day in 1970.
Cool.
Let's see. Mike Morton, linebacker for the Raiders, was born in 72. Eddie Fatu, Samoan professional wrestler, was born on this date in 73. Let's see. Oh, Ramus Seebach, Danish pop singer and songwriter and record producer, was born in God damn it. He was born in Frederiksberg, Denmark. I have no idea who that person is, but he was born in 1980. Julia Stiles was born on this day in 1981. I'm not going to lie, she's one of my celebrity crushes.
I love Julia Stiles. She's a fantastic actress.
She's one of my celebrity crushes.
She's an amazing actress, so yeah.
She's been in a lot of good stuff. I don't really know what happened to her career.
Yeah.
It just kind of fizzled out.
I think I read somewhere she just kind of wanted to focus on her personal life, because I was curious about her too.
Well, more power to her. Oh, Lady Gaga, born on this day in 1986.
With or without the dick?
I don't know.
Oh boy, what are you talking about?
I don't think she used to be a man. I just think she's odd.
She's not, and even if she is, it's none of her fucking business.
Let's see. That's pretty much all of it. Amy Bruckner, American actress, was born in 1991. No idea who that is.
I know of her. She's not bad. Yeah.
Lady Gaga. You guys ever see The Campaign with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis?
I don't know.
Corey, you must watch. It's you'll get a kick out of it because it's a put up of the entire political and campaigning system.
Okay.
They make fun of the ridiculousness of the whole thing.
Cool.
Now it is done in a very dick and fart joke kind of way. So I mean, I know you're not. I have the unedited, not unedited, the R-rated version of it or whatever it is on Blu-ray. But it's definitely one of the. It's a lot of dick and fart jokes, a lot of gross humor. But it is at its heart, it's a put up of just the entire system of running for office. It's like these. Basically, Will Ferrell plays this congressman from one of the Carolinas, who always runs unopposed. So he's just been a congressman forever. And they convince Zach Galifianakis' character, who's kind of this bumbling fool who runs.
Oh, I saw a preview for this a long time ago.
And they convince him to run for office against him, and just the hilarity ensues from there. There's a lot of actually really good actors in it. I mean, but it's just a put up of just kind of the campaigning, the way campaigns are run. It's just kind of a put up of the whole thing. It's really funny. I've got the R-rated or uncut version, whatever the hell it is.
I'll look for it.
It's funny. But it's good. Zach Galifianakis, Will Ferrell. It's really funny. But,
I love anything Will Ferrell. My favorite is the one where he's a character in the book with Emma Thompson.
Oh yeah,
I forget what's.
And
the guy and he's dating the baker gal, and instead of bringing her roses, he brings her a box of 12 kinds of flour for cooking in little bags. I cried. I was like, that is so romantic. Ugh. Got me. It got me so bad, that scene.
What the hell was the name of that damn movie?
Stranger
Than Fiction.
Yes, it makes me wish that some guy I would have dated in my life would have bought me a bag of flour. It sounds so stupid to say that, but it's true.
Yeah, Peter said his battery was starting to die. That's why he jumped off. But yeah, it's good to talk to Peter Parker for a minute.
He just don't want to admit. He just don't want you to feel bad.
No, he's an all right kid. He's not a tool on Twitter or anything. So I mean, that's step one in not being a douchebag. But real quick, I mean, before we start to wrap this thing up, I mean, Cora, you heard us talking about the whole thing with the Oscars earlier. I mean, you saw it, I'm sure. I think everybody.
I didn't want. I when I said hi, that's when I popped in. I heard about it, and I saw one video clip, and this is what I got to say. If the authorities in Los Angeles, wherever this was taking place, have to tweet because they've had so many inquiries whether charges are going to be filed or not.
Really?
Not mentioning names, you know the world's gone to shit. There's so much more to worry about than if Will Smith is going to be charged with anything. Like, I just don't care. It's stupid.
You go to LAPD
he should have just
see what they say.
He should have just literally heckled from his seat saying, "Shut the fuck up, Chris," or walked out of the room with his wife in hand to make a scene. But to go up and hit somebody is way out of line. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, like I said, I don't blame him for wanting to stand up for his wife. I get it.
I do not.
I think there's
salt is a different matter, and you know, if Chris Rock didn't want to press charges, so be it. You know, but people calling and actually asking if charges were being filed, them having to put it out on Twitter. We are aware of a situation between two persons of the Academy. Blah blah blah. Said person has chosen not to press charges. That is all we have to say. It's like, who fucking cares?
There's a bunch of different LAPD feeds.
Let me see the one my friend sent me and see if I can hold on.
I've looked at the LAPD headquarters, the LAPD communications.
You need to look at Lois Beckett at Lois Beckett. That's the one that my friend sent me.
Senior reporter,
she must have
Florida
gotten
Guardian. That makes sense.
Yeah, so she must have gotten that from a source.
Oh, so this was a statement.
Yes.
Okay. Now what this says is, and this is from Lois Beckett on Twitter. Let me click on this. I don't have it on the screen or anything. I'm just reading it. It said, Los Angeles Police Department statement. Quote, LAPD investigative entities are aware of an incident between two individuals during the Academy Awards program. The incident involved one individual slapping another. The individual involved has declined to file a police report. That is one of two.
And the second one just followed up with, let me find it. How the fuck did I close it? There it is.
Second one.
If the involved party desires a police report at a later date, LAPD will be available to complete an investigative report. And that was it.
There it is. Yeah, that's it.
So it's just like, if people have to do this kind of, it's like, come on, who fucking cares?
Like I said,
I told my friends I think it could be a work to get people to watch the Oscars.
I don't think.
I said it to you guys in the chat in our Twitter thing.
Because I actually saw somebody talking about that on Twitter. They were like, "This was not staged."
Really?
But I mean, think about it. Like I said, go back and watch the clip as it happens. The one that I showed. You can see when he says it. The camera cuts to Jada Pinkett, and she has.
And you see her face.
Her reaction was not one of like, "Ah, ha, ha," it was funny, and then Will Smith overreacted.
I saw her shaking her head, going, "Not good."
She kind of rolled her eyes and was like, "This motherfucker right here." But so I don't know. It was not. I don't think it was.
I don't know. I'm just saying it could have been a work, even if it was. I don't know that I care.
I ultimately I don't, but I mean it's the story. So I mean think on it because I have a feeling we're gonna be talking about this again on Thursday.
All right.
There's probably going to be some aftermath. There's going to be some discussion. There's going to be some people making points, and that's going to kind of change the narrative of it all. It might alter the way some of us think. Me personally, not very cool. I would
concerned about it. I just think it's I mean, I don't know. The hitting just. And then, did you hear what his kids said on Twitter afterwards?
I do not follow his kids on Twitter.
Okay, so my friends follow this, so they sent this. Jaden at Jaden, Jaden. That's it. And literally just wrote, quote, "And that's how we do it," in all caps on the first letters.
Yeah.
It was at 11:11 p.m. at Jaden.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's stupid. It's like your dad just got lucky. Nobody's pressing charges, and you're gonna like stoke the fire by saying, "And that's how we do it."
Well,
if your family is a mafia, like, come on.
All I can tell you right now is, look, I'm a Will Smith fan. I think he's a fantastic actor. Again, I tell you, go watch the movie 7 Pounds. It's his best movie, and it never gets any credit. If he'd done that to me, I would have ripped his balls off on camera in front of all those people. No fucking way. Now, granted, look, Will Smith is a bigger star than Chris Rock. So maybe Chris Rock is like, I can't react and fight back because he's a bigger star than me, and it's going to get me run out of Hollywood.
Or he's trying to be a gracious person and realize that he shouldn't react with violence.
Well,
which is quite respectable.
Sorry, but if someone walks up there and slaps me like a bitch in front of fucking 18 million people watching, motherfucker, you're gonna catch these fucking hands. That's the way that shit goes.
I know.
Look, I mean, I don't know how else to say
it.
I don't know how else to say it. I mean, I give Chris Rock all the credit in the world for kind of just letting the show go on and letting it go forward and trying to get past it all. But fucking A, I no shit. I would have cut Will Smith in half. Twitter's having fun with it though. Let's see. What's this one thing I just... Oh, damn it. Wait for my computer to load it all back up. Now we know how he got in that fight in West Philly and why his mom sent him to live with his aunt and uncle in Bel Air.
That's funny.
That's a funny... But, yeah, that meme is going to be some hot shit on Twitter and on the internet for the next probably at least few weeks. But, yeah, I mean...
stupid. And his family should just fucking go on vacation and stay out of the spotlight and shut the fuck up for a while and apologize to Chris Rock.
But that's the thing. It's like they were trying to say like he made a tearful apology during his acceptance speech. It's like he didn't apologize for shit. He tried to justify it. He tried to justify it, which is wrong for me. He's like, oh, well, I'm in a position where I have to defend my family. It's like, no, motherfucker, you could have done that a lot of different ways, and I don't think anybody would have been mad at you for it. No. But yeah, I don't get that shit at all.
No respect.
Rob Snyder says there is never an excuse for violence ever on Twitter. I don't know. I would be violent as fuck.
What kind of an example are we setting for children with shit like that? Or not?
I'd have been violent as fuck with him if you ask me.
Yeah. Or if that had been your kid and he had done that, you would have like pulled him in and you would have smacked your kid's ass for acting like that in public. Yet his kids are praising him and saying that's how our family deals with shit.
Yeah, but their whole family has got a history of being kind of odd.
Really? I don't know.
Well, it's like Jaden Smith wore a dress to prom.
Jaden boy or girl?
Boy.
Forget.
Jaden Smith is the one that was in that Jackie Chan movie Karate Kid that came out several years back. Not a terrible movie, not as good as the original by any means. But Jaden Smith is his son. Jaden Smith has been in a couple of movies with Will Smith. But he decided he wanted to wear a dress to prom. And him and his
maybe he was just trying to be funny. Who knows?
No, they're odd. They have a weird way of seeing the world. And generally speaking, I don't care. To each their own. I'm not saying he was right or wrong for doing it. But
when they act like this in public on the Oscars, you're gonna like create a serious attention to yourself for being fuck faces. I'm sorry, but that is just not acceptable behavior. It's not at all. That's my position. They're stupid.
I wonder if this can't be real.
Oh, let me see Will. Nah, Carl. How did you not know that? How did you not know that? Nah, that wasn't that hard, bro.
I can guarantee
it wasn't that bad.
Probably
Don't lie to him, bro. He slapped the shit out of him, bro. You thought he slapped the shit out of him?
Had charges pressed against him, but he's done. He won't be back. He won't be back at a live Oscars taping.
Oh, Will Smith?
Did they have any issues prior to that tonight, or was that just
my friend said that back at somewhere in 2019 or 16, there was something said publicly between the two. Chris Rock said something and it bothered Will Smith, and some people are estimating or guessing that there was pent up, like fuck you from that, but. It's been years, in theory. Who knows? I don't know. But
if that's even true, yeah, he should have just let it go.
Well, here's some more Oscar stuff I want to talk about real quick. The in memorandum section. They left out Ed Asner, who was a legend, and Bob Saget. Weren't in the in memorandum. Very odd. Let me go check that out real quick.
Somebody fucked up.
Yeah, Pure Country Viper just sent another tip. Thank you very much, sir. He says, "Oh my goodness, is that the one and only Cora? Hello, Cora. Hope you're doing well. What up, chat? Let's see the ranch in the chat. Ranch it up. Hello. Ranch the chat for that's a whole lot. Ranch the chat for fiercity. We should have Mr. Harsh Truth host derailed. Make it all sports. Woo! Thank you very much, Pure Country Viper. Appreciate you, brother. But yeah, it says
Randy Viper.
Oscars in memorandum. I know it is. Oscars in memory. That's how he donated, was Pure Country Viper. So throwing him some love.
Oh, you should put Randy back in your name, buddy.
Let's see. Oscars in memorandum. Bob Saget, Ed Asner among omissions. Let's see. Every year, viewers are surprised to see there are a few recognizable names are omitted. Beloved comedian Bob Saget, who had a small handful of film appearances in movies, including Richard's Pryor, Critical Condition, very funny movie, drew the most outrage on social media. However, Saget did win a student Oscar for his 1977 documentary Through Adam's Eyes. Let's see. Most of the other mentioned as omissions were principally known for their appearance on television, not film. The Monkees' Michael Nesmith, okay. Sex and the City star Willie Garson, okay. Mary Tyler Moore Show star Ed Asner. Ed Asner was in plenty of movies. Robert Downey Jr.'s actor, director, father, Robert Downey Sr. were among other names not mentioned on the scroll. Well, whatever. French actor Gaspard Ulliel. I know I butchered that name. It's spelled Ulliel. I think it's Ulliel. I don't know.
No idea.
With several film roles was also omitted. With the unlikely song choice of Norman's Greenbaum's 2 on the Nose, Spirit in the Sky playing. A list of stars and behind-the-scenes talent, unspoken, on-screen, included some of Hollywood's biggest names like Sidney Poitier, obviously, William Hurt, obviously, who just passed away. We just talked about him last week. Olympia Dukakis, Dean Stockwell, and Betty White. Casey! Fucker.
Fuck you, Casey.
I'm going to make it in memorandum. Put Casey on it. Remembering Casey as well. Filmmakers who were remembered included Peter Bogdanovich. Yes, he passed away. He's a very famous director. Ivan Reitman, of course. Richard Donner. Melvin Van Peebles, Mario Van Peebles' father, who was a great actor and filmmaker in the blaxploitation film era. Linda Wertmiller, Jean-Marc Vallée, cinematographer Helena Hutchins, obviously, was also honored. Portier, White, and Reitman were remembered in separate tributes before the in memorandum segment. But Sidney Poitier makes sense. First African-American win an Oscar. It was in some of the greatest movies made in the 60s and 70s. Betty White, obviously. You know what's funny, though, is They say that they won't include somebody in the memorandum because they were mostly television stars, not movie stars. Betty White was mostly a television star. She was in a couple of movies. She was never really a lead actress.
This feels like it was a trivial thing, and they let some intern put the list together.
I mean, like I said, you've got a few minutes.
You know
there.
who did this list, Frank? The person who was responsible for that one chick not getting invited.
True.
They fucked up.
True. But
that's what this is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, those are some of the people that were left out. Yeah, I mean, Ed Asner almost kind of makes sense, but he was in plenty of movies too. I mean, he was in JFK. He wasn't the lead actor, of course, but he had a pretty big role.
Everybody fucking knows who Ed Asner is.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're a fuckface. But, yeah, I feel like he should have been included on that list.
But, whatever. I mean, you know what, though? And this is usually the story every year, this time of year, is who was left off in memoriam.
Mm-hmm.
I say stop doing it. I mean,
or just do like a YouTube video or social media somehow, like have the Academy, like at the time of death, acknowledge someone's death in real time, and then during the awards ceremony, not mention it at all.
Or maybe
isn't that what social media is for?
Or maybe even run it as a commercial.
Ooh, I like it.
Instead of having one long in memoriam segment that takes up time, break it up into 3 or maybe 4 different segments. And then have them run as commercials. And then
if they get delayed somehow, they can turn around and use it as like a delaying tactic if there's something going on or blah, blah, blah.
Like when Will Smith slaps the fuck out of one of the hosts.
Oh, what a thought. I think you and I could run the Oscars.
I would just shut him down. I'd be like, you know what, fuck it. We're shutting him down for a couple of years until you motherfuckers understand what this shit's really about. I want it to be a celebration of filmmaking again rather than just all the rich people getting together and patting themselves in the back. And you see, even here on Variety, Will Smith apologizes to Academy for Chris Rock's slap and tearful Best Actor speech. I played that entire fucking speech from start to finish. He did not apologize for one fucking thing.
Nope.
All he did was try to justify it.
Defend his position.
And it sounded like he was trying not to cry. Same time.
Oh, is it because he's afraid of getting arrested for it, and he didn't want Chris Rock to press charges?
I would imagine that once the emotion and the adrenaline kind of wore off, that he probably saw it with a clearer head and was probably like, that probably wasn't the best thing to do for a whole lot of reasons.
He shouldn't have gotten out of his seat, Frank.
But exactly. That does not make it okay. I mean, I've done plenty of things after an emotional response that after I've had a chance to mellow out and think about it, I'm like, I could have handled it a little bit differently. But I've never done anything like this. I've never walked up there and open hand slapped a man in front of 15 million fucking people. I don't get it.
I put it in our, I don't know if you saw between Jeremy and I, or pull a Kanye and get up there and get in front of the microphone and say some shit and walk away.
Yeah, well, that would have depended on what he said. If he would have went up there and messed with and dropped his own joke, which is something that Will Smith could very easily have done because he obviously his comedic timing is great. He's been doing comedy his entire life, but so he could have taken a personal shot that maybe would have been an inside joke between the two that we all laughed at because he said something funny, and that Chris Rock would have been pissed about. Then maybe he'd got the message and nobody else really would have
something
understood.
like, my wife can rock bald better than you ever could, so shut the fuck up. Let's hope your hair doesn't fall out.
True.
Could have been something like that.
Or maybe just walked up there and said, hey, my wife's been fighting this disease. That's why her hair fell out. You feel like a dick now? And that would have been a little more appropriate.
You should hope she's G.I. Jane, because if you were put out in the front lines, we'd all be dead. Like my wife's more of a badass than you are. Anything would have been better than in slapping the guy.
Yeah, it was not smart. God, can you imagine what the fervor would have been like over this if it would have been anybody other than Chris or another black man saying it? If that would have been Billy Crystal up there or
he wouldn't have done it. I do not believe Will Smith would have done this if it was anybody else.
Good God, crazy. It says right here, Chris Rock declines to file a police report after Will Smith slap at Oscars. Honestly, I don't know that I would either because.
Then it turns into a thing.
Because it turns into a bigger thing. Certainly he would be justified for doing so. And if he did, I would say, okay, that's your right. And he probably wouldn't be wrong. But by filing a police report, he probably makes it a bigger deal. And I think, honestly, he probably just wants to walk away from this thing too.
Agreed.
But it's going to be a while before we see him on anybody's podcast or TV shows, because this is all that Chris Rock's going to get asked about next time he jumps in front of a microphone.
And he's just gonna go, dude, I was just hosting. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
I would imagine that Will Smith's gonna be taking some time off as well. That they're gonna be like, we're just gonna go ahead and hide out for a while. We might not see Will Smith around for about a year or so. I would imagine. I don't know what projects he has in the pipeline right now, so maybe he's already filming.
If he can't keep his kids shut up, it won't matter.
Well, like I said, the family's known for being a little odd. You know?
A little odd is, yeah.
But whatever.
Each their own, whatever.
Yeah.
I have more important things to worry about. I really don't give a fuck about them. I'll say that.
I know. As much as I don't want to approach this on Thursday, it's a story. I mean,
no, but the thing is, between now and Thursday, there'll be more to talk about. So.
Well, I mean, maybe by then he will have come out with a public apology. Maybe by then we'll have had some kind of a statement from Chris Rock. I'm sure tomorrow, one of the things I'll be watching tomorrow, I'm pretty sure one of the things we're going to see tomorrow is we're going to see the Academy release a statement. And they're going to say something along the lines of, well, we regret that it happened.
Yeah, Will's fucked. He's not welcome back here.
We've talked to Will. We've told him that wasn't a good thing to do. And they're going to
try to... It's going to be just like that thing, that stupid Browns player that chased another player with a fucking helmet and clocked him.
They're going to try to distance themselves from the negativity, but kind of
stupid.
Hey, you know what though? The Oscars, deep down inside, they are loving this shit.
Oh, like I said, I feel like it could have been a work.
Who said it in the chat earlier? This is the most exciting thing that happened in the Oscars in the last 20 fucking years.
And everybody who criticizes the African American community for being, whatever they're going to say, they're going to go, see, they do it. They do it on television to each other. It's going to become a race issue as well.
Well, I mean, I hope not, because it shouldn't be. I don't like to see everything get made into a race issue.
I have a feeling.
You may be right. There is a great possibility that you're right, but
because black on black violence on the Oscars, that's going to be talked about.
Well, I think it's going to be more celebrity on celebrity violence. That's actually a much bigger story to me.
I'm not trying to say I have an issue with it. I'm just saying I foresee this being a talking point for a long time.
Oh yeah, probably. Like I said, especially depending on what. Look, at some point, Will Smith and Chris Rock are going to have to jump in front of a camera and be asked about this.
Oh, but doesn't Jada Pinkett Smith have her own Facebook show where she could have them both on there?
Well, that's the thing. Is I don't think she would have them both on there. I think she would have Will on there, and they would try to justify it. I don't think that she would have both of the guys on there to talk it out. I think she wants to make herself out to be.
But she's not. Never mind. I won't say it.
Why did she start the Oscar so white bullshit? Because she felt like her husband should have won an award that he didn't win. So she's one of those people who likes to play victim.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Will Smith, I like Jada Smith as actors, but this is not a good look.
The thing is, just because you're famous and you have an audience hearing you does not mean you have a right to impose your personal beliefs on the audience.
True. Very true.
Just because you have... I don't know. I just don't think just because you're famous and people care what's going on with your career that you have a right to turn around and use that as a way to affect people politically.
True.
But whatever.
Very true. But anyway, I'm sure there's going to be more about this story to talk about on Thursday. So come check us out again on Thursday. I'll check in with the chat real quick before we cut out of here. Let's see. Casey, House is better than Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, and The Wire. Cora, Casey, House is better than Downton Abbey. Cora, what? TSS2 also said, okay, on this day, just 2 minutes ago, Casey left Frank's show, and if he lasted 2 more minutes, he would have left at exactly the 2-hour mark. Damn right.
Do you know what I figured out? Casey is an AI program.
Is he?
And he has to go recharge his program's batteries. And all of a sudden he just vanishes. I would say that he's
an AI program because there's some bugs in his coding.
Yes.
That he can't beat video games, the 16-bit ones anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Rose, are you still on with us, or did you fall asleep?
I'm still here, you fucker.
He doesn't fall asleep on shows.
No. You want me to show you those memes?
He doesn't talk over people or just cut out.
Hold on, I'll put those memes in the chat. No, I'm kidding.
goodness.
Oh, good. I still have those on my computer. I'm going to print those up and mail them to everybody. So they have like paper copies to show everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for tonight, guys. We've got a pretty steady audience of about 8 or 10 people most of the night. That's not bad for a post show. That usually doesn't happen anymore.
Nice.
But let's go around and say our goodbyes. Lady Cora, where can the folks at home find you?
Absolutely only on your channel.
At least for the next month.
Yep.
Come here if you want to tell Cora all the things that are better than Downton Abbey so she can argue with you about why you're wrong.
Yes.
And Rose Gaming, in 30 seconds or less, give us your plug.
Yeah, man. Latter half of the description box, my channel link is down there. I'll be doing a Mortal Kombat video this week, tomorrow, and more streams coming out throughout the week. I've been streaming more, so come check all that out.
And as for me, of course, you find me here every Thursday with the Dowager Countess Lady Cora and my hetero life mate Jeremy talking about all the interesting stuff going on in the world of entertainment. And
will be live in 2 nights himself.
Yes. 2 nights. Is it 2 nights?
Yes, because Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy. I thought you were talking about me. Yes, Jeremy will be on here Tuesday.
Talking about Jeremy.
Yes, Jeremy will be on here Tuesday doing the. Actually, he just put the stuff up in the. He just set the stream up earlier today. I have to go put some stuff in there for it. But yeah, Jeremy will be on here Tuesday with. I don't think Rachel will be there. I think he's going to have Zach there. I think Rachel might be out of town.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll be. He's putting the finishing touches on that 7,300 piece Millennium Falcon built in Legos. So go hit him up. Give him some of this trivia. Give him some of the this day in history bullshit. Have some fun with him and whoever he's got on there. It's probably going to be Zach. Zach's a cool guy too. Zach's been on the show here and there in the past. I'd like to get him involved a little more often, but he's a busy guy. And as for me, you'll find me on here every Thursday talking about all the stuff in the world of entertainment. You find me on the Derailed podcast usually this days, on Sundays, going over all the stuff happening in the world around us, probably pissing a lot of people off. Again, don't forget, you guys see down there in the corner, 500 subscribers. Charity stream for the Abandoned Pet Project will be all the money that we get from, super chats, donations, whatever. That's going to all go to the Abandoned Pet Project, which helps get pets out of shelters, save them from euthanization, and helps gets them healed up properly.
Send them
into
to live
homes.
with Casey.
Yes, all to live with Casey because he's never going to have a girlfriend again because he killed Betty White, and he's going to become a cat person. He's going to become one of those people. But thank you guys for coming to hang out with us tonight. Thanks to Casey as Raw. Thanks to the Rose Gaming. Thanks to Lady Cora for popping in. Thanks to Peter Parker for popping on briefly. Very much appreciated. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And we'll see you guys later on. Adios.
Bye.
Later days.